from HD1 and HD2 Kansas City in Odyssey Sports Station. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
And your home for Royals baseball.
Fastball hit high in the air, deep left field, way gone into the bleachers. A two-run homer for Bobby Witt Jr.
Watch The Drive by subscribing on our YouTube channel or listen on demand with the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This show is always going to stand on principles. Dippin' Dots are incredible. Red Lobster is the best restaurant that America has to offer, and baked beans are trash.
You're listening to Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's C-Dot.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you on this wonderful Wednesday. We have a lot to get into. Someone asked a really, really good question. Peter Burns, friend of the show, I believe, Peter Burns, asked the question that Dolly Parton was a universally beloved American woman. Now that she has passed, who is the most universally beloved American woman? I think I have the correct answer. We'll get to that in today's show. Today is also National Dog Day. So I've made my list of my 5 favorite celebrity dogs. I cannot wait to share it with you. We'll also talk a little bit of football. That's where we are going to start. But sometimes special circumstances call for special things. Rob, I don't know if we have ever done this before. In the history of the random Royals lineup, I can't get myself to start the show with the team that is 59-74. But when you've won 9 games in a row, at a minimum, Rob, the least we can do is get you a random lineup to kick off today's show. We're going to do this before we even thank you for listening to the show. We're going to do this before we even thank the people over at the other place. Rob, this might be the earliest you've ever talked on the show before, but I need you to take it away.
We're where you want to be. Baseball with the Royals.
Carrying today's random Royals lineup takes us back to the year 2017, where the Royals had a, wait for it, 9-game winning streak, much like they have right now. Here was the lineup when they acquired win number 9 in a row in 2017. Leading off at second base, Whit Merrifield. Batting second in right field, Jorge Bonifacio. Batting third, the center fielder, Lorenzo Cain.
These are my kind of Royals.
Batting fourth, the first baseman, Eric Hosmer. Batting fifth, behind the plate for that win streak and this one, Salvador Perez.
The ageless wonder.
Batting sixth.
Salvi might have played with George Brett.
We don't know he didn't. He definitely played with Joe Rando.
1,000%. He hit right after Willie Wilson in the lineup.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of third base, batting sixth, the third baseman, Mike Moustakas. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, Brandon Moss.
This is when the Royals started to end. You know, this is like a TV show that has some of the characters that you love, but the other ones have now gone off to do other things.
Batting eighth, the shortstop, Alcides Escobar.
I'm telling you, you can always tell how things are going with the Royals based on where Alcides Escobar is hitting. If he's hitting first, things are going great for the Royals. If he's not hitting first, it's not going that well.
And batting ninth, the left fielder, Alex Gordon.
We needed a good random lineup to kick today's show off. I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to listen to the show. And number three, and most importantly, I need you to go stop by and see our friends over at The Other Place. They have over 10 lunch specials, all priced at less than $10. So stop in there. Get yourself a salad. Get yourself a sub. Get yourself a couple of slices of pizza. Grab something to drink. Please go see our friends over at The Other Place. All right, where I would like to start. Andy Reid met with the media. He had to talk about Joshua Simmons, who right now is dealing with a back issue. Here's Andy Reid.
Yeah, just getting his back checked out. So, I mean, that's the main thing. I mean, he was doing good when he was in there. He's got the back. So, like any other injury, I mean, we got to make sure see if it's right or, what's wrong with it.
My first question for the day, it is 2:06, and this feels like a really good way to kick off the show. Rob, I think you would admit that you and I have varying degrees of excitement, hope, confidence, whatever term you want to use when it comes to Joshua Simmons. One thing that is bothering me with Joshua Simmons, and maybe you consider this being negative, but it is a fact of the matter. It has been something almost every time with Joshua Simmons. He was gone for a while. We still don't really know. Family issue, non-family issue, I don't know. He just didn't play a month of the games. He then came back and he got injured. Yes, it was a freak accident. Now that we're here in August, and this offensive line could really use some stability on the tackle positions, whether it's at left tackle or right tackle. They still don't have stability at left tackle or right tackle. That worries me just a smidge. I'm not at a 10 level of worry, but I am at a 4 or a 5. I wanted left tackle to be one of those positions that you treat it like a crock pot or an Instapot. You just set it up a little bit, you leave it over there, and we didn't have to discuss it. We constantly are discussing the left tackle position. We're either discussing it because we're uncertain of where you are. We're discussing it because you got injured and you missed games. We're now discussing it because you can't practice and you're dealing with the back issue. I'm a little bit worried about Joshua Simmons at left tackle. But I do feel the Chiefs fans, they went without a left tackle for so long. He has shown some promise when he's been there, that it's sacrilegious to even bring up the fact that something keeps popping up with Joshua Simmons. Do you think I'm overreacting by having this position when it comes to Joshua Simmons? Because if this team is planning on him not being there early on in the season, and you're going to put Jalen Moore over at left tackle and put Khalil Benson over at right tackle, and you're also going to have a quarterback who is coming off a significant leg injury, that feels like a little bit of a cause for concern. So I'm a little bit worried about Joshua Simmons, but I understand that I get like that sometimes. And the text line is probably not worried at all about Joshua Simmons because they haven't been worried about him seemingly at any point since he has been on the Chiefs.
I don't know I'm as worried as you, but I'm not worried. I mean, he had health issues during his time at Ohio State. So he's had
health issues since he joined the Kansas City Chiefs.
Now, what he had in the NFL is not his back. It's he break his wrist. Like it's, football accident, freak injury, so it goes. But the fact that Andy Reid is saying, yeah, we're going to have that checked out and kind of figure out what the deal is. We're 14 days from kickoff. I'd like to know what the situation is and what the recovery plan is. Maybe they have those things and they're just not alerting us to them. But I do have a quiet alarm that's a little bit about to sound if it's Jalen Moore and Khalil Benson in week 1.
Okay, so I'm at a 4 with Joshua Simmons, but I am reserving the right that this can go way up. I don't know if it's going to get much smaller than a 4 just because I have more questions about Joshua Simmons than I think the average person. I would say of all the players on the team that I don't agree with the consensus on. I don't agree with the consensus on Joshua Simmons. I don't agree with the consensus on Xavier Worthy. For most part, I would say almost every other player were about at the same place. Those two, I am on opposite sides of the conversation. He also was asked about Patrick Mahomes, who was practiced of late. Here's what the head coach had to say.
Well, listen, he's looked good during the practices and doing the stuff. This week he was a scout team quarterback and pretty good scout team quarterback. But he's looked good. He's looked strong, and obviously his attitude's right. So,
all right. I told you guys yesterday, I'm not going to spend any amount of time worried about if Patrick Mahomes is going to play. Now, I'll spend time worried about how Patrick Mahomes is going to look because we don't know that. But is he going to be the starting quarterback for week 1? Yes, absolutely. I'm unwavered in that. I will not spend your time debating on, well, what if? No. Patrick Mahomes is going to start week 1. I know that. I think you know that. All of their actions would suggest that that is the case. So I might be worried about is Joshua Simmons going to play week 1. I'm a little bit worried if Trey Smith is going to play week 1. I'm not worried about Patrick Mahomes and if he is going to play. I want to play one last audio piece for you guys as we kick the show off today. Here is Andy Reid talking about Kenneth Walker. This sounds like a really minor thing.
Ken Walker, his shoe has caused some swelling on his ankle there, so we're trying to get that down. But he's okay. He's gonna be fine. But we're trying to just get that out of there.
So that's where we are with Kenneth Walker. I think right now, at least for me, I am dealing with how uneven this August has felt for the Chiefs, because there has definitely been a lot of very good news about the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't want to paint it like it's just rained for 30 days straight, but I think you would have to acknowledge that they have also had to deal with some challenges in August as well. They had to deal with not having Mansour Delane. They've had to deal with the Joshua Simmons injury. They've had to deal with Trey Smith being out. They've had to deal with L'Jarius Sneed. So they've had a little bit of a disjointed August, and we haven't gotten things going yet. So there's still more time. There's no reason to overly panic because you still got a little bit of time. I mean, we're exactly 2 weeks away from their really first practice. Their first practice is September 9th. They've been doing this training camp thing, and then they'll take a little bit of time off, and then that Wednesday, Patrick Mahomes will be on the show, Andy Reid will do his press conference, and they are getting ready for the challenge of playing the Denver Broncos. So we are almost here in the offseason. And right now, your left tackle is dealing with an injury, your right guard is dealing with an injury, and they were basically forced to make a trade yesterday because they don't have enough offensive line depth. We got a chance to see their offensive line depth in these last two games, and they clearly don't like it. That's why they had to go out, and that's why they had to make a move. So there are still some question marks from a health and availability standpoint when talking about this team. Not about the quarterback, but about your left tackle, about your right guard, one of your promising defensive ends in Ashton Gelati. I don't think he's going to play in week one. So heading into the season, the Chiefs are dealing with some injuries, and they're a little bit banged up heading into the season. But you got 2 weeks to potentially get right, heal, and be ready for a very challenging test against the Denver Broncos. So coming up on the side, we'll keep our NFL conversation going. I want to play for you guys something that Dan Orlowski had to say about the Chiefs and an observation that he had. I kind of agree with them. We'll see if you guys agree. We'll get to that next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison and Rob Brenton.
You losers is what you are.
On your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the end of summer sale at AutoZone. We're celebrating the end of long days and short nights with big deals for a short time. Like on Wash and Wax, you can get 3 Meguiar's products for just $20. Need new brakes? Duralast brake pads are free with the purchase of Duralast rotors. We've also got oil deals and more. We're ending the summer right with the end of summer sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
It's time to get everything you need for the job from one partner. No more juggling vendors. We've got your entire job supply covered. Supply the entire job with job lot quantities of everything you need, from flooring to roofing, with access to thousands of products not available in stores. More products mean more colors, sizes, and finishes, so you can get exactly what you need to get the job done. Learn more at the Pro Desk, the Home Depot Pro. It's about time.
Flu season is here. Get your flu shot today at your local Hy-Vee pharmacy. It's easy, convenient, and no appointment is necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. That's right, a 20-cent fuel saver. Get your flu shot when it's convenient for you. Schedule online or just stop by your Hy-Vee pharmacy. No appointment necessary. Help your family stay healthy. Get your flu shot and get a 20-cent fuel saver only at Hy-Vee. See store for details. Some restrictions apply.
School's back in session and we're all busy now, and that's why it's hard to get to the grocery store. But you could get your groceries delivered in as little as 30 minutes. That's why I love Hy-Vee's new Get It Faster service. When you're crunched for time and need something fast, Hy-Vee to the rescue. Just download the Hy-Vee app or go to Hy-Vee.com. Choose your store, select your items, and Hy-Vee does all the shopping for me. Choose the Get It Faster option, and your groceries will be ready in a snap. Try it for yourself. Get It Faster delivery or pickup only at Hy-Vee.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
It's 5 o'clock. Your employees are headed home, but you're still updating spreadsheets, switching between software, and wondering where the day went. There's a better way. Odoo brings accounting, sales, inventory, CRM, and more together in one fully integrated platform. So you spend less time managing software and more time running your business, because your workday should end eventually. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's odoo.com.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Lemonade! Fresh squeezed lemonade! Lemonade? Oh, nuts.
Is your business struggling to be seen? Not reaching the right customers?
Yeah.
Odyssey's here to help. Your one-stop shop for digital marketing.
Wait, really?
With targeted digital media, plus SEO, SEM, social, OTT, and more, we help your business reach the right audience and drive results.
Whoa, hey, one at a time.
Stop missing out on valuable customers. Visit digitallocalads.com to learn more about our local advertising solutions. That's digitallocalads.com.
Okay, people, mine starts here.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to the Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, welcome back into the show. I want to play for you guys something that Dan Orlowski had to say about the Chiefs. I agree with this sentiment, but I'm not sure if the masses agree with this sentiment. Here's Dan Orlowski from First Take.
I think the fact that they're going to be dependent on and relying on so many rookies to not only play, but play at a high level is a big concern. I think receiver is a huge concern because Rashee Rice, is he going to be there? How healthy is he? The same with
Xavier Worthy.
They've got to rely on Cyrus Allen a ton, who again is a rookie. I mean, we're talking about a team that people are saying Super Bowl contender that is going to need significant contribution from 5 rookies. Significant. If we got to January and in the NFL, the Chargers, both teams are healthy. The Chargers aren't in the playoffs and the Chiefs are, that would be a massive, massive disappointment in LA. Massive.
All right, well, I can't co-sign that last part. I just want to be clear. I don't want the opinions of Dan Orlowski are not reflective of the opinions of me. I don't share that opinion with Dan Orlowski, what he said there at the end. I don't share that one. I know that I'm Chargers dot, but I got to rebuke the last 10 seconds of the clip. I don't rebuke the early part of it, but I definitely rebuke the end of it. I think it's kind of hard to deny at the core of what he said. They are very reliant on these 5 to 6 rookies having a good season. They are reliant on Cyrus Allen being a difference maker, in my opinion. That is the only thing new about this wide receiver room. Now, Rice being healthy, Worthy taking a step forward, but you want to talk about shaking it up from last year. Cyrus Allen is the only way to shake it up. He's the only one who wasn't in the room last year. So Cyrus Allen is a guy that the Chiefs are depending on this season. If we're talking about the other side of the ball, they're very reliant on young players to help them defensively. R. Mason Thomas is a guy, Ashton Gelati, who's not a rookie, but has a handful of snaps so far in his NFL career. They're very reliant on him Peter Woods is another one of those names. Mansour Delane is one of those names as well. I would say Jadon Kennedy is also going to play a lot this year. I do think the Chiefs this season, if you were talking about them hitting their ceiling as a team, and best case scenario is they need this draft class to be extraordinary, and they need them to be extraordinary very early on in the season. Now, they can still, I think, make the playoffs if they're not extraordinary, but I think if you're talking about the ceiling and them competing at the highest level, they are very reliant on young players in some key spots. They need a young player to step up in the wide receiver room. They need 2 young players to step up when it comes to pass rush. Their entire cornerback room is basically young players. Noah Williams hasn't played a whole lot of football yet. Mansour Delane hasn't started yet. Jadon Kennedy hasn't started yet. So they're very reliant on young players' early contributions from those guys.
This is why I think everyone compares the upcoming season to 2022. Because you look at the 2022 draft class, the thought was, you guys got to hit the ground running. They had Trent McDuffie. They had George Karlaftis. It didn't work out, but they had Sky Moore. They had Brian Cook. They had Leo Chenal. The thought was, this group of day 1 and day 2 draft picks, you have to be a guy immediately. And it worked. They won a Super Bowl. They were one of the best teams in the AFC. I believe they were the 1 seed that year. They were incredible in 2022. Basically, every draft pick they made hit and became an immediate impact guy right off the jump. They need that again to have that sort of success again. They need Mansour Delane to be Pat Surtain-ish. They need, I know he's not a rookie, but Noel Williams to be Jalen Watson-ish. They need, R. Mason Thomas to look like Nick Bonito. They're going to need contributions and quick. So I understand why Dan Orlovsky is hesitant to be all in on the Chiefs, because it's, hey, they do need big contributions from rookies everywhere. But it wasn't that long ago they had the same questions, same comments, same concerns, and the Chiefs hit a grand slam and ended up being Super Bowl champions with a young group on defense.
Dan Orlovsky, to me, is making the point that I've sort of been making about this team. And I think it just really comes down to how you perceive the NFL and how you predict the NFL. The Chiefs have a lot of uncertainty that could absolutely work. Maybe R. Mason Thomas is a bigger contributor than I'm giving him for this year. Maybe Cyrus Allen is a bigger contributor than I'm giving him this year. I don't know. And at this point, your guess is just as good as mine. None of us have any clue. We have no data. We have no sample size when it comes to those players. Usually we are talking about the Chiefs coming from much more of a known commodity spot. So this year, what I think is made so hard in predicting them, especially on the defensive side of the ball, I have no clue what to tell you about their defense. Anything is possible with their defense. Their entire secondary is new and hasn't played together. Their pass rush, largely unproven for the most part. So I think there's a wider variance when discussing this team than how we have typically felt going into a Patrick Mahomes-led year. It was normally Kansas City's at the top and who's showing up for second place. It's Kansas City is going to be in the AFC Championship game, and who do you think they're going to play in the AFC Championship game? And that's why this text right here, text line 913-586-7965, CDOT, are we really considering them to be a Super Bowl contending team? I think they're as much of a contender of about 6 other teams in the AFC. It's if you don't think Kansas City is a contender, okay, that's fine. You'd have to explain to me why you think Baltimore is if Kansas City is not, because every question mark you have about Baltimore, I could also make those same questions about Kansas City. You got to explain to me what makes New England a contender or what doesn't make Kansas City one. If you're high on Cincinnati coming into this year, why is Cincinnati a contender and not Kansas City? I think the Chiefs roster might be better than Jacksonville's roster. They won 13 games last year. I think people would consider them to be a contending team based off what they've done last season. So I don't know necessarily if the Chiefs are a contender based off how people perceive their roster to be. I think a lot of it is based off history, track record, their coach, quarterback, GM combination, and the history that they usually figure things out. And it's also the uncertainty of the AFC, and if not them, why not us? I think that fuels a lot of why people are putting Kansas City in that mix for the division.
Yes, I also think part of that mix is, you talk about it's a what have you done for me lately kind of league. What the Chiefs did lately is bad. I think last year, outside of Kansas City, it's viewed as disaster, that, it's a sign of problems on the horizon, and you don't just overcome them in one season, where I think locally people look at it as blip on the radar, so it goes. I think it's what you're saying combined with the fact that last year was so disastrous, which is why they're part of the wash in the AFC as opposed to Tiger versus the field type of energy.
Yeah, text line 913-586-7965. If the Chiefs do win this year, does that give more weight to Patrick being the GOAT? I mean, it would certainly be incredibly impressive if they can guide this team with where they are.
Does it undo what he lost in that conversation last year?
I don't think it undoes.
Because
missing the playoffs in your prime and it undoes getting blown out in 2 Super Bowls. In terms of being the greatest. Now, obviously, I think he's one of the greatest. I'm talking about being the number one on the power ranking. I think maybe too much damage has been done, at least to be number one on that list, compared to Brady that just doesn't really have many blemishes on his record. But yeah, I mean, if the Chiefs won this Super Bowl, the weight that would carry for Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid in taking this roster to a championship is by far and away the most impressive thing they would have done.
Even more impressive than that 2023?
I don't think that team is nearly as bad as people remember it being, just because their defense was so good that year.
I think people think that team is back to play 2 postseason games.
Yeah, I agree.
It was the only 2 they've played on the road in Kansas City, so people perceive it to be a disaster. I get your point, but the fact they had to go to Buffalo and Baltimore to get it done, I think people perceive it as a worse team than maybe it was.
Yeah, I think that team just defensively was just way better than people give it credit. I mean, they were second defensively that year. I mean, they weren't great offensively, and maybe that's why, like, the other Chiefs Super Bowl teams have been just really great and dominant on the offensive side of the ball, and that's probably why people feel that way. But yeah, I mean, that team had the second best defense in the National Football League. So if the Chiefs are going to be ranked second in either offense or defense, then yeah, they'll be very, very good this year because you're elite on one side of the ball. How do you get to be elite on the offensive side with the wide receivers that they have, and can their defense be elite with so many new parts and new pieces?
It's a lot of what I'm gathering is, and maybe I'm wrong, the reason why I think people locally are so much more unconcerned with this upcoming season is because of what you're saying. I feel like Chiefs fans felt they've done that. Because I think if our system doesn't keep things 4 or 5 years later, if I were to pull August 26, 2022, and we probably had a conversation about reliance on rookies, and it worked out gangbusters in Kansas City. So I think when they hear people like Dan Orlovsky say there's concern about, reliance on rookies, people locally yawn and say, ho hum. Last time they were relying on rookies, they had a parade. So I think what it boils down to is how good are the rookies? If they're McDuffie, Karlaftis, Chenal level of good, Isaiah Pacheco, yeah, the Chiefs are going to be back. But if they're just solid, I think they're just going to be a solid team.
Yeah, I think this is people are just a little bit too close to the conversation. Someone on the text line says, C-Dot, what are you talking about? Brady lost 2 Super Bowls to wildcard teams. Somebody else said a loss is a loss. Brady was beaten twice by Eli. It doesn't have to be a blowout. Yeah, I just don't think we can compare Tom Brady's 2 losses in the Super Bowl to Patrick Mahomes' 2 losses. Like, one of the ones
head-to-head, too. That also changes it.
Yeah, it's 3. Brady has 3. That was also the Philadelphia Eagles. The 2 to the Giants is, one was, I mean, you could argue the greatest play in the history of the National Football League. The other one was a last-second drive. And Mahomes' 2 losses, the games were not competitive in the second half of the game. Again, I'm not saying that Patrick Mahomes, I told you guys yesterday, I think he's top 3 all time. I think it will be very, very difficult at the end of Mahomes' career for us to consider him to be the GOAT, the greatest quarterback of all time. When Brady was still playing, Brady went into Arrowhead and his team beat Patrick Mahomes' team, and then they played in the Super Bowl when his team blew Patrick Mahomes' team out. I think it'll be very, very difficult to argue that quarterback is better than the other quarterback. But being second to Tom Brady and who the greatest quarterback of all time is not a bad place to be.
I mean, the fact that it might be a debate one day is a sign of a strong NFL career.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want anyone to think, I mean, obviously, I think Mahomes is amazing. I'm just saying Brady's resume is as nearly as perfect as an athlete's resume could be. Yes, they've lost before. Everybody has lost before. I don't know if you can really have a better football resume than the one that Tom Brady has.
I mean, there was a time where we didn't think Montana's resume would ever be touched, and Brady just walked right past it. No big deal.
And Brady has 3 more Super Bowls than him. Just think about that. And has 6 more appearances than he has. That's the crazy part, too. Montana's 4 for 4 is insane. Tom Brady played in 10 of them. 10. And, I mean, all 3 of the losses. One is, I mean, you can maybe argue the greatest trick play in the history of the Super Bowl with the Philly special. and then 2 all-time iconic drives and moments. Like, it took pretty Herculean efforts to knock Tom Brady out in the Super Bowl. That's what it took. Pretty Herculean efforts. So I just think Brady's resume is going to be really, really difficult to touch.
Like I said, you could argue it's probably the second best resume in all of sports. I think only Jordan, and maybe not even Jordan, has a better resume. It's one of those two. That's why they're widely considered the best ever at what they did.
Yeah, even when we point out the stats, you all disagree. Again, a loss is a loss. Yeah, I mean, if we're saying that losing by 1 and losing by 30 is the same, I mean, I guess technically I feel like there's some context. I feel like we watched the games. I feel like we saw what happened. I mean, the Chiefs were never in the game against the Philadelphia Eagles at any point in the Super Bowl. Like, if we're counting a loss as a loss, that's different. How the Chiefs lost is different than how Kurt Warner lost to Tom Brady. I feel like we watched the games. I feel like that context matters. The text line disagrees when it comes to that. 913-586-7965. Let's talk a little bit of college football. So by now, I'm sure that you guys have missed it, but let's go back. The SEC had a meeting about all of the changes that are happening in the sport. Here's Pete Thamel.
SEC presidents had a pre-meeting last night on Zoom before their actual meeting in Birmingham today. And they essentially agreed with the spirit of what the Big Ten actually did. The SEC is in quite a conundrum here because I think philosophically they don't want players to come back from the NFL. And the early conversation I've heard from the SEC is that that's nearly unanimous. The problem is there are state laws right now that have been enacted in the state of Louisiana specifically that allow players to do that. So if the SEC does follow the Big Ten's lead here and ban players from this path, you have to then potentially trump or overcome a state law. And that is obviously something you can't do. Everyone was aggrieved in the SEC about Charles Bediako, but it was a local judge that ruled Charles Bediako. And I remember calling people and saying, well, just can't you ban him? Can't you? And they were like, no, it's literally, like the NCAA said, it's literally written in the law. So it's going to be quite an interesting showdown here if the SEC does follow suit and does do what it clearly appears like it wants to do. If you read the statement that they released, they're very, very clear. Colleges for college athletes. So what's going to happen with these players that have come back to the SEC, and specifically, obviously, LSU is obviously at the heart of this, Pat. What's going to happen is going to be one of the most fascinating things between now and kickoff.
So the rules right now in the SEC, I will read them to you very quickly. So the SEC, they have now implemented a rule, quote, following the meetings with the president, chancellors, athletic directors of the Southeastern Conference, the SEC will enforce the following policy. An SEC institution is not permitted to have an athlete on its roster who has, number 1, previously declared for the NFL, NBA, or WNBA draft and did not appropriately withdraw. 2, signed a contract with an NFL, NBA, G League, or WNBA affiliated team, and or been listed on an NFL or professional football league, NBA, G League, or WNBA roster. The commissioner is authorized to enforce this expectation with penalties against member institutions. They've also implemented the penalties as well. We don't need to go through it. I think you understand the spirit of the law. I find it kind of hard to believe that anybody could be on the opposite side of what I just read. That all seems very reasonable to me if you believe in preserving some of the integrity of college athletics. That if you have participated in professional football games, that now voids your amateur status and ability to play at an SEC school. If you have signed a contract in a professional league, that should void your ability from playing in the SEC. If you went through the entire NFL, NBA, or WNBA process and you did not withdraw at the time where they give you an opportunity to say, hey, I got all the information I wanted and now I'm going to step aside and I'm going to go back to playing at Arkansas. If you haven't done those things or if you check these other boxes, you are now ineligible. And if you do that, we are going to penalize you as a conference. We're not going to wait on the NCAA to do this. We're going to penalize you. We're taking your bowl game money away from you. We're taking this away from you. We are going to have heavy fines if you violate this. They also said in the SEC rule, Rob, they're not going to let you vote as a member school for the next year. Like, we didn't want to hear your voice on these issues anymore because you violated these rules. this is how we fix college athletics in the short term. There's still more legal fights and all of those things, and it's early, and we're still trying to create the foundation. We're still trying to create the rules, and I am all for it. But there are some things that we should all be on the same side of. We were on the same side of Brennan Sorsby. Hey, you shouldn't be allowed to play college football anymore. You gambled on college football as a college football player. I didn't care that he was gambling on Japanese baseball. I care that he gambled on Indiana. Oh, we only bet on his team to win. He bet the under. That's not betting on your team to win if you bet the under. No, you violated the rules. You're done. If you sign a contract with an NFL team, you now can't go play football at LSU. This should be so straightforward. So I'm happy the SEC is implementing this. I'm happy the Big Ten has implemented this. You and I both know the Big Ten and the ACC are sure to follow by the end of the week. Those players should be ineligible from competing in college games.
I can't believe we ever got here. I don't understand why we ever felt, I know it's lawsuits and blah, blah, but On3 you should not have ever had a logo that Daquan Wright went from Ole Miss to Browns to LSU. That should not be your lineage as a college football player. You shouldn't go from, man, he was a really good player, now he was in the Saints minicamp, and now he's back at LSU. That shouldn't be what we did. The fact we got here at all is nonsensical. And I know what you're saying. I'm happy we have rules, blah, blah, blah. The NCAA should have seen this coming. Dan Wetzel saw this coming. When the G League players started coming back to college, Dan Wetzel said, keep an eye out on what happens with OTAs and like that in college football. And no one seemed to listen, and here we are. But you know what? Cooler heads prevailed. Smart mind people prevailed. We're not having players who have played on Chiefs rookie mini camps being inside of college football in 2026. That is I can't believe I had to say it, a good rule to have.
Yeah, it blows my mind that we even had to put this rule into it. Someone said, I'm all for this, but why is baseball, soccer, and hockey not included? Something tells me that at least in the short term, they've had more problems with these other ones than they have with the latter ones, and they can very easily just go back to those same athletic directors and implement this. So I wouldn't just read too much into it.
Also, they have different eligibility rules than
for sure
football and basketball. Like football and basketball have different rules. Like baseball, you can get drafted as a freshman and you don't have to go to the Royals could draft a freshman at KU right now. He can just say no. So it's a different whole eligibility world.
I agree. I'm just saying is right now, I just wouldn't be as caught up on why is baseball not included. Yeah. It's clear to me what they are trying to do. Mm-hmm. They're keeping pros out of their game, which they should. I got no problem with you being a pro. Go be a pro. That's what this rule is. I don't have any problems with players hiring agents. I don't have any problem with players going to the combine and competing and getting a chance to interview and do the workouts and figure out what their draft status is. But there has to be a cutoff date where there is a door that is presented to you. If you walk through door A, that means door B is closed for forever. You can't come back. Hey, it's March 17th. You talked to every NFL team. You did the combine. They told you where you were going to be drafted. You had all the information to make an adult decision. You made an adult decision. It didn't work out for you. I'm sorry it didn't work out for you. Now you got to figure out a way to pivot. You got to figure out a way to do something else. So
we need to call this the Lane Kiffin rule.
Oh, 100%.
That's what this rule is. You know how like we have the
no. This is Lane Kiffin. This is the LSU rule because they all were trying to do it.
That's fair.
Kim Mulkey was trying to do it.
Will Wade was doing it.
Will Wade was doing it. LSU down there being nasty. We know that. They don't care. Come hell or high water down here in the bayou. We getting the most out of the situation. So yes, this is not I don't want to just single him out. This is not just the Lane Kiffin rule. This is the LSU rule because they were out getting pros is what they were trying to do. That's what they were doing. To go 9-3, they were getting pros to do that. All right, coming up on the other side, Rob, did you know that today is National Dog Day? I'm going to tell you my favorite celebrity dogs. That's coming up. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief.
1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where supplies start at just 25 cents?
Staples has the latest laptops with up to 40% savings.
I may hug the cashier.
So embarrassing.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples with up to 40% off select tech. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
Before the season even kicks off, everyone's making predictions. Who wins the division? Who makes the playoffs? Who's lifting the trophy at season's end? On Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform, you can trade those predictions in a live market. You think Kansas City is just making the playoffs? Right now, a $100 trade over there would pay out $150. Win it all? A $100 trade would be over $1,500 if they were to hoist the trophy. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there is no house, and as probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position, trade the draft pick, the game, and more on Kalshi. Download the Kalshi app and use code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to get $10 when you trade $10. K-A-L-S-H-I, Kalshi, trade on anything. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Kalshi products are not available in all jurisdictions. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Telly Tire and Auto Center's biggest sale is back. The tires at cost sale. That's right, you pay what we pay on any in-stock tires from Telly's huge inventory. Our certified techs will even mount and balance them for only $30 per tire. All that plus a 30-day ride guarantee and lifetime tire protection. Gas and grocery prices may be going up, but there's never been a better time to buy tires. Reserve yours now at TELLEtire.com before our sale ends. Take care of your car. Take it to Telly. Additional charges apply for tire disposal and road hazard warranty.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the end of summer sale at AutoZone. We're celebrating the end of long days and short nights with big deals for a short time. Like on Wash and Wax, you can get 3 Meguiar's products for just $20. Need new brakes? Duralast brake pads are free with the purchase of Duralast rotors. We've also got oil deals and more. We're ending the summer right with the end of summer sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
It's time to get everything you need for the job from one partner. No more juggling vendors. We've got your entire job supply covered. Supply the entire job with job lot quantities of everything you need, from flooring to roofing, with access to thousands of products not available in stores. More products mean more colors, sizes, and finishes, so you can get exactly what you need to get the job done. Learn more at the Pro Desk, the Home Depot Pro. It's about time.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it. Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
This afternoon, patchy fog in the morning, mostly sunny, high 89.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football.
All right, Rob, you know what I would like to do? I would like to give you a list. And on this list, what I would like to do is I want to give you my 5 celebrity dogs. Today is National Dog Day. Rob, as you know, I work part-time for Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. Mad Dog, always been great to me. I'll never forget the first time I met Mad Dog. I actually didn't know who he was. I was in Surprise, Arizona for spring training, and he was doing his show right next to me, and Danny was looking at him like he had seen Michael Jordan. I was like, who is that? He looked at me like I was wrong. You don't know who that is? No clue. He did radio at WFAN in New York. I lived in Kansas City. I listened to that show. Why'd I listen to that show? But I've come then since to know Christopher Mad Dog Russo. He's been great. Friend of the show? We call him friend of the show. He's friend of the show.
Yeah, definitely friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
He might not be popular on the text line, but he's a friend of the show.
Oh, they hate him whenever he comes on the show. Text line don't like anybody. I'm just here to say they don't like anybody. They don't like me half the time.
They don't like Pat. Why does he say more?
Text line don't like me on the show. But you know what? In honor of him, in honor of National Dog Day, Rob, let me give you my list of my 5 favorite celebrity dogs. Hit me. Number 5 on the list, Air Bud. Air Bud, I mean, you remember those Bo Jackson commercials where it's like Bo knows, and then it showed Bo like doing all these different things. Like Bo was riding bikes and playing baseball and boxing and all of these things. That's Air Bud. Air Bud is Allen Iverson. He's Caitlin Clark. He's Ken Griffey Jr. He's Deion Sanders rolled into one golden retriever. Air Bud. What a dog. Show Air Bud right now to your kids. I'm telling you, you'll be blown away at how great Air Bud is. Air Bud, number 5 on my list.
Good start to the list, I will say. There are some stinker Air Bud movies. Air Bud, the basketball player, good.
I mean, he can't shoot 100% from the field. Even Steph Curry misses shots. So, yeah, Air Bud has a couple of stinkers. But those early ones, World Pup, Air Bud, Golden Receiver. I mean, come on now. I mean, what are we doing here? Classics. Number 4. I had to put this dog on the list, and I had to do this for Dolly Parton that tried to encourage a generation to read. I used to love the show Wishbone. Did you used to watch Wishbone when you were a kid?
I did not.
Wishbone was giving you the classics. He would tell you a story of Oliver Twist. I loved the Wishbone. So I got him on my list. A top 5 dog. Rest in peace to Dolly Parton. She tried to make sure that your kid could read. Wishbone's on the list. Number 3, I'm going to the cartoon space. Rob, you know me. I'm a 90s Nickelodeon kid at heart. And you know who was a loyal dog? Spike from Rugrats. Spike is on my list. Didn't say much, but you know what? Spike was always there for you. Whenever the kids needed to climb up on the counter and get themselves a cookie, Spike was always there. Whenever they were trying to find Reptar or go on their one little capers and adventures, you know who was always holding them down? Spike. Spike, number 3 on my list.
Not a bad. When you said 90s Nickelodeon cartoon dog, thought for sure Pork Chop was showing up here.
Well, Rob, guess who number 2 is on my list? Pork Chop from the television show Doug. Pork Chop was the greatest friend. We all would be lucky and fortunate enough to have a companion like Pork Chop. When Doug was sitting there, when Doug would go on his dreams and his adventures, when Doug was banging on a trash can, strumming from a street light, when he would smash atoms, you know who was always by his side as he was writing in that journal? Pork Chop. Number 2, Pork Chop. And number 1, I mean, this should go without saying. The Patrick Mahomes of famous dogs. The Tom Brady of famous dogs. The Michael Jordan of famous dogs. It's Scooby-Doo. I love the television show Scooby-Doo. It's what birthed my love of Law and Order. You know what I love about Law and Order? A crime happens. We then start investigating the crime. We figure out who did the crime. We try it. It's over. Justice wins. Let's start this process over. You know what I loved about Scooby-Doo? The kids would just be there minding their business. All of a sudden, something would come up missing. And then for the next 15 minutes, Fred, Daphne, Shaggy, Scooby, Velma will put their heads together to solve it. They usually will put Scooby and Shaggy off on some dummy mission. All they were trying to do was get a snack or a sandwich. And then you know what? They would figure it out. And then we would learn Mrs. Robinson was the one that did it this whole time. And she would have got away with it if it wasn't for those meddling kids.
And their darn dog.
Let me give you my top 5 celebrity dogs for Celebrity Dog Day. Number 5, Air Bud, who's the greatest athlete this side of Bo Jackson. Number 4, Wishbone, read a book. Number 3, Spike from Rugrats. Number 2, Pork Chop from Doug. And number 1, the greatest of all dogs, Scooby-Doo. Somebody told me this once, and they're 100% accurate. Don't trust anybody that doesn't like dogs. Cats are a little different, you know? Cats, they're not really trustworthy individuals, you know? They're just real sneaky. But dogs are amazing. If you're good to a dog will be good to you. Think about this. Even the Grinch likes dogs. The Grinch didn't like anybody. The Grinch was so evil. He was so bad. He wanted to steal Christmas away from children. You can't be friends with somebody like that. You want to know who was a friend to the Grinch? His only friend, a dog, Max. I should have put him on this list. Honorable mention. The Grinch's homeboy, Max.
I think you have 2 glaring omissions. Number 1, Lassie.
Wasn't really a Lassie kid.
I didn't love the film, but I feel like everyone says,
it's a great dog.
What is it, girl? Like when they think about Lassie. And 2, I think this is a big miss by you. Where's Snoopy?
Snoopy's not on my list.
Snoopy might be the most famous dog. It's either Snoopy or Scooby-Doo, and to not have him in the top 5, what are we doing here?
Snoopy's not my dog. That might be your dog. This is not my dog. I don't love Snoopy like that. I wasn't a Peanuts kid. I didn't say these are the top 5. These are my 5. These are my personal 5. The ones I love. The ones I would want to own and be around. I don't want Snoopy. What kind of dog is Snoopy? You know what kind of dog he is?
I do not know.
Let me look it up. What kind of dog is Snoopy?
Famous? He and Woodstock? They have a whole cartoon series about him.
He's a beagle is what he is. He's a beagle. I'm just saying, it's okay. I'm all right. I'm all right on Snoopy.
Peanuts might be the most famous cartoon of all time. You don't have the dog from Peanuts on there.
I'm all right. This is my list. Somebody said Old Yeller. No, I don't want no Old Yeller.
Old Yeller's such a sad movie as a kid.
I just don't want these. These weren't my dogs. Clifford, not my dog. I was thinking about putting Brian from Family Guy on the list. I was thinking about it. He was very close to making the list. Honorable mention. Others receiving votes.
If they went to, how sometimes team number 27 in the rankings, but they only do top 25. That's Brian.
I love Scooby-Doo. I'm just happy Scooby-Doo is on this list. I'm happy that he's number 1. He's my favorite. I love Scooby-Doo with all my heart. Big fan of Scooby-Doo.
Did you say you're happy he made the list you made? You had total control over it.
I was just happy he made it, I'm happy that we had such memories together with Scooby-Doo. That's what I am. I'm happy that we had such great memories together. Shout out to Scooby. All right. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll get back to the Kansas City Chiefs as we're 2 weeks away, I would say, from there. We welcome the challenge of playing the Denver Broncos. It's almost here. Keep it locked in. It's The Drive.
Your off-season home for everything Chiefs football.
Talking about the top story, the Chiefs, they have a new offensive coordinator.
96.5, The Fan.
Hi, this is Kevin Harlan, and I'm here with Rob Seid at Rob Seid Ford. Rob, I smell a grill. What's cooking?
Kevin, the grills are fired up, and so are the deals. Right now at Rob Seid Ford, it's the Ford Employee Pricing Sales Event with the best deals we've had in the past 12 months.
Now that's saying something. What are we talking?
Employee pricing on virtually every new Ford on our lot, plus even more dealer discounts on top.
So how hot do these deals get?
Up to $17,500 off brand new F-150s at Rob Site Ford, plus huge savings on Expedition, Explorer, Bronco Sport, Bronco, and more.
Wow, that's 5 alarm hot.
Exactly, and unlike Kevin's Burgers, these deals are coming out juicy.
All right, I walked into that one.
Shop Rob Site Ford, Kansas City's top-rated Ford store on Google. 4.8 stars and nearly 3,500 reviews.
Rob Site Ford, 135th and State Line, or robsite.com.
Buy right, Rob Site.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where supplies start at just 25 cents?
Staples has the latest laptops with up to 40% savings.
I may hug the cashier.
So embarrassing.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples with up to 40% off select tech. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
Men, when addressing the problem of erectile dysfunction, you want the right treatment for your specific medical situation because every case is different, and finding the right treatment can mean the difference between just an okay experience and an amazing one. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and at our practices, we offer the full range of ED treatment protocols and can even combine therapies to help make those intimate moments special both for you and your partner. At Heartland Men's Health, we take great pride in providing excellent care and treatment options for ED. Our medical providers specialize in men's sexual health and understand that no two cases are alike, which means you'll get the right treatment for you based on sound medical evaluation and appropriate applications of medical therapies. Plus, we offer treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most men, you'll get your sex life back. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99. It includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
It's Chiefs season at Harrah's Kansas City. Every Saturday in August, the excitement kicks off at 6 p.m., where every 15 minutes until 10 p.m., one lucky guest will win up to $2,000 in free play. Then at 10 p.m., one grand prize winner will score a pair of Kansas City season tickets. Wear your red, bring your lucky game day spirit, and join us every Saturday in August at Harrah's Kansas City. Big prizes, big excitement. Don't miss your shot to win.
21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Baseball fans, you think you know who's hitting a homer today? Well, FanDuel's giving you a free chance to call your shot with Daily Dingers. Joining the action is easy. Just make your free pick on who's hitting a home run in their game, and if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at extra winnings. You got nothing to lose and a lot to gain, and you can make a free pick every day during the MLB season. It's just another reason why FanDuel's the home for home runs. If you're ready to play your game today, join all the action at FanDuel.com/local. That's FanDuel.com/local to play Daily Dingers and make your free pick on who's hitting a homer. Swing for the fences on FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB and 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
For 75 years, Kansas City families have trusted Anthony for comfort, safety, and dependable service. Thank you for trusting us with your house keys. Anthony, in your home for 75 years.
Listen to the Chiefs and Seahawks this Friday with pregame starting at 6 and kickoff at 7. All right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
All right, so today I was perusing on Arrowhead Pride. And on Arrowhead Pride, they made a list. And you know what we love to do on this show? We love to argue a list. So they made, Rob, their top 10 most important Kansas City Chiefs. Now, we all know who number one is. Why would we waste our time arguing and debating it when everyone agrees who their most important player is? This is how they have it, Rob, 2 through 10. Number 2, Joshua Simmons. Number 3, Chris Jones. 4, Creed Humphrey. 5, Trey Smith. 6, Mansour Delane. Number 7, Kenneth Walker. Number 8, George Karlaftis. Number 9, Kingsley Suamataia. And number 10, Travis Kelce. That is the list currently on Arrowhead Pride on who the 10 most important members of the Kansas City Chiefs are. I strongly disagree with this list. I do not think that Joshua Simmons is the most important member of the team outside of Patrick Mahomes. I told you guys who I think it is. I think the answer is George Karlaftis. I don't know if their defense works without George Karlaftis this season. They have been, in my opinion, preparing themselves for this stage of George Karlaftis' career. He's 25 years old. I know he's gotten paid, but it's not a ridiculously high contract. It's not crippling by any means. This is when you start to believe that he can take that next step and be that pass rusher. And now with Aston Gelati banged up, who could miss the first month of the season with plantar fasciitis, with R. Mason Thomas, who's a second-round pick, with Felix Anudike-Uzomah, who at this point, certainly there's no way he lives up to being a first-round pick and feels like he might be a third-down specialist kind of guy. They need George Karlaftis to step up and be one of the more important players on their team. So I think he's way too low at number 8. I would put him at number 2. I don't have a problem with Chris Jones being very high on this list for the same reasoning that I give for George Karlaftis. I think that Kenneth Walker is very high on this list too. Their offense, to me, really centers around Kenneth Walker just being who he's been so far in his career. You don't need him to take a step and be a new player. We're not talking about this is a 700-yard back that now in the right system you think he can emerge. Be the exact same running back you were in Seattle for your last 4 years and do that in Kansas City, and you're happy. And the impact of having that running back that Patrick hasn't had really at any point in his career since those first 7-8 games with Kareem Hunt before he got dismissed from the team, I think would be big. I also think one of the wide receivers has to be in the top 5 on this list.
I would have picked Rice. He was on my head.
But if you put Worthy on this list, like, I think they're a 1A, 1B situation. Now, I think Rice is better than Worthy, so I understand why you would put him on the list. But if you don't have Xavier Worthy, and now all of that attention is on the other side, and now you can guard Rashee Rice a little bit differently, and now you're trusting Cyrus Allen to really step up, or Tyquan Thornton to really step up and make consistent plays. I don't know if you have that ability. Same thing on the other side. If Rice was out for a while, now it's Worthy and a cast of these guys. You've taken a big hit. So I see Rice and Worthy as you need both of these guys to really step forward and have good seasons. So, I mean, this list is probably pretty close to the 10 that I think exists. I mean, Kingsley just wouldn't be in my top 10. If one of your most important players is your left guard, you haven't built your roster correctly. If one of your most important players is your right guard, then you're missing at some other positions, in my opinion. But I think George is way too low on this list. And Rashee Rice or Xavier Worthy absolutely need to be on the top 10 of most important players on this year's team.
As you were, naming off the list, I was confused. Maybe I thought I misheard. Because if this is the best players in the Chiefs, okay. Because Creed Humphrey was high. Trey Smith was high. But I don't think because of their position, they can be in the top 10 of most, may not make top 10, but they can't be in the top 5 most important. Kingsley Suamataia, I agree. I also feel like, and maybe this is how I view lists like this needs to be all the positions of value. Quarterback, number 1. I actually am okay with left tackle being in the top 5 just because you have it as a question mark, and if Josh Simmons is a known commodity, the team is going to be better. But Mansour Delane needs to be in the top 5. You drafted a rookie corner to hope he's Pat Surtain. You got rid of an all-pro corner. He's one of your most important players. The defense can't fall off. Jones or Karlaftis, pass rusher, need to be on this list. Like, I feel like this list is just, hey, here are the best Chiefs, like Kingsley Suamataia, and that's why they're important. I feel like this needs to be more positional value game than it is.
Yeah, I'm with you. And to me, at least in a lot of these positions, Like, let's say Kingsley Suamataia got hurt, but you have the other 4 offensive linemen. I think Khalil Benson has shown you that he could potentially step in over there at left guard and you be fine as long as everything else is intact.
For a short time, at least.
Absolutely. So that's why, to me, a lot of it is dependent on if you get hurt, what's plan B? Like, I understand Creed Humphrey being high on this list because if Creed Humphrey gets hurt, what's your plan B at center? Your only plan is that he's going to be healthy and available. I actually think they're somewhat equipped to handle Trey Smith being hurt. Now, a lot of it is predicated on Simmons has to be on the left side, Moore has to be on the right side, and now you put Khalil Benson in at guard. I think Khalil Benson's ceiling is to be Kingsley Suamataia, a guy that they tried at tackle, doesn't necessarily work at tackle, but at guard, when you put him by Josh Simmons on one side and he's got the best center in the NFL on the other side, he can more than handle his own. So if Trey Smith can't go for the first 2 weeks of the season, I think Khalil Benson's capable of stepping in and being able to help you at right guard in a pinch if necessary. That's not to diminish what I think Trey Smith means to this team, and if he's healthy, you'd rather have him than not have him. But how I would base my importance role is if they get hurt, what do you do? If they don't have George Karlaftis, what does this defense do? And now you're really counting on Felix Anudike-Uzomah. You're really counting on Ashton Gelati. You're really counting on R. Mason Thomas. So that's why I would have George Karlaftis a little bit higher on this list. That's why I would have Rashee Rice or Xavier Worthy higher on this list, because I don't think that they're positioned to handle injuries at those positions.
If you're going to do it that way, and I'm not saying you're wrong to do it that way, don't you have to have Nick Bolton on the list then? Because I don't care much about linebacker. It's the running back of the defense. But you're talking about a position where they really can't afford a lot of injuries and their depth is tested. Wouldn't that have Nick Bolton and or Drew Tranquill fall into this category for the Chiefs? Like, aren't they the same as if they suffered an injury at edge rusher? Like, what happens next? Because if you're telling me the top 10 need to be based on how thin they are depth-wise, then I think a linebacker needs to be in the top 10 because they don't have any depth at that position.
Yeah, no, that certainly makes sense. I get what you're saying, at least when it comes to that. I want to read this text really quickly. C-Dot, I couldn't disagree with you more on George Karlaftis. He isn't the most important. If he's the most important, then this team isn't going to be good because he's average as possible. Every DB is more important. Chris Jones, Kenneth Walker, all the offensive linemen are more important. I don't think this team can hit their ceiling then if you feel that way about George Karlaftis. I'm not telling you you're right or wrong. But I'm telling you then, if you think this team can, and I mean get back to what they were, not just can they win 9 games and maybe make the playoffs. But if you think that this team can be a true contending kind of team, I mean, he has the 4th highest contract on the team. Like, if we're going off total value of the deal, Patrick Mahomes is number 1. Chris Jones is number 2. Trey Smith is number 3. George Karlaftis is number 4 on the team. Like, you need those guys to be your difference maker kind of players. When you've spent that level of money, when you spent that level of resources around those guys, I'm not saying that George Karlaftis has to turn into Myles Garrett, but he has to be a guy that is a true difference maker, can set the edge, and on the other side, he is a player. Like, if you're one of the people that believe that Chris Jones is getting double teamed, well, then somebody's getting one-on-one coverage. You need somebody in the NFL to beat that consistently. So if it's not George Karlaftis, cool, then you need R. Mason Thomas to be really, really good this season. You got to then believe in Felix Anudike-Uzomah because their pass rush plan cannot be Spags dial it up. No, you got to be able to dial it up with your front 4, front 5. And if you got to dial it up because you're constantly rolling the dice and gambling, you're going to put a lot of young corners in some really rough situations. And in a league where there's as many good wide receivers as there are in this league, that's a really bad dice roll. All of the teams that you think have good defenses, they got ability to get pressure with their front 4, and they don't constantly have to scheme up blitzes. No, we're going to push the pocket. No, we're going to disrupt timing, and we can do that with our defensive line. You need George Karlaftis to take that next step. You need him to be what Frank Clark was on the other side in big games to Chris Jones. Maybe he wasn't that consistent regular season producing kind of player, but when you needed a big stop on 3rd down in a playoff game and teams are overly concerned with Chris Jones, Frank Clark was winning those matchups and getting you off the field. That's what George Karlaftis has to be.
Maybe I'm letting the text line paint my opinion a little bit too much here, but can you explain to me why Chiefs fans are so down on George Karlaftis? Yes, he's not Lawrence Taylor. He's not Derek Thomas. No one would confuse.
I can answer your question very quickly. I think it's very, very simple.
But he's a good pass rusher in the NFL. He's had 1 down season. Other than that, he's an 8, 9, 10 sack guy, and those things don't grow on trees.
Once you get paid, the clock starts. You know how it is. It's different when you're on that rookie deal. You're viewed as a value, right? And it also goes to the expectation of what it means to be a first-round pick. Let's say that George Karlaftis was a fifth-round pick, same contract. We talk about George Karlaftis very, very differently. When you get drafted in those first 32 picks, there's a much different expectation. Think about it. Let's say R. Mason Thomas turns out to be the exact same player that George Karlaftis is. You agree. It will be viewed very differently by fans. If he is the same player, yes. And I'm saying they're not even that far off in where they were drafted. They're not that far off. They were 10 spots from each other. But yeah, there's a difference in how we feel about the 30th pick and the 40th pick. A big difference. So yeah, I think the George Karlaftis thing is, at this point in your career, as a first-round pick and a guy who got paid, because that's what's most importantly, they paid you a substantial amount of money. I just gave you the number. He's the fourth highest paid guy on the team. You can't also be a 6-sack guy and think that the fans are still going to believe in you the same way.
I guess it just...
And also, I guess to add to this point as well, sorry to cut you off, the text line makes this point, I agree. That would be different if that down year was the first year. But he now looks like he is a regressing player, going from 10.5 to 8 to 6. So that's the most recent taste you got in your mouth, is his most disappointing sack season.
Here's the thing, though, and I'm very happy the text line brought that up. You actually beat me to my point. I feel like people pick and choose when we have this regression and worry. Patrick Mahomes had his 2 worst years of his NFL career the last 2 years. And I ain't worried he's going to bounce back. George Karlaftis had the worst year of his career, and everyone's down on him, and it's over. It's not going to happen. He's a bum. I feel like fans, and again, when the text line paint my opinion here, I think they pick and choose when they're like, it's regression time versus blip on the radar. Because, again, George Karlaftis is not Lawrence Taylor, but if he's a 10-sack guy this year, that's a win from pick 30. It just is.
Yeah, and this text line, this is just kind of, to me, I guess this is just how we talk about football players. George Karlaftis had a down year last year because his production had dropped due to a broken thumb the last 6 games of the regular season. If you're a football player, you got to deal with injuries. I hear what you're saying. I do. George Karlaftis is going to get hurt again. Josh Simmons is going to get hurt again. Rashee Rice is going to get hurt again. There is not a bubble that you can put around and turn the injuries off for your most important players. That's part of the job that you signed up for. Part of the job you signed up for as a football player is you're going to be hurt and you got to figure out a way to play through it. You got to be available. You got to figure out a way. So I'm with you on George Karlaftis. Yeah, he was hurt. Okay, I'm with you. We think George Karlaftis is getting hurt again and playing football? He plays defensive line. That guy going to get hurt again. So that's why I got him high on my list. Is just how do you manage it if he does get hurt? Because right now you're already down. You remember we were talking about this defensive line and people liked it because they had so much depth. Omar Norman-Lott has not practiced. He has not played for the Chiefs since last October. Ashton Gillotte might be out for the first month of the season. That depth is already being tested. And we're 2 weeks before the start of the season gets going. So that's why, to me, I would put George Karlaftis second on this list. So if you missed it, I was on Arrowhead Pride, and they had a list. These were the 10 most important members of the Kansas City Chiefs. You obviously know who number 1 is. Number 2, Josh Simmons. Number 3, Chris Jones. 4, Creed Humphrey. 5, Trey Smith. 6, Mansour Delane. 7, Kenneth Walker. 8, George Karlaftis. 9, Kingsley Suamataia. And number 10 is Travis Kelce. I would have put George Karlaftis second on the list. He cannot get hurt for this team. If this team is going to be a Super Bowl contending team, they need him to take a massive step forward. Can he take that step forward? Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Get up to 0% on select 2026 Subaru models for up to 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City. 0% event and a lifetime warranty. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru. The Subaru A Lot to Love event.
VIN number 4S4SLD L61T3038472, based on 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
When you buy from any of the Balderson Auto Group dealerships, you're getting the support from all of our dealerships.
Like our 100 service bays, collision, and detail centers.
And our free exclusive lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you that.
From north, central, south, the Balderson Auto Group has you covered.
A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
Go to bagkc.com.
Flu season is here. Get your flu shot today at your local Hy-Vee pharmacy. It's easy, convenient, and no appointment is necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. That's right, a 20-cent fuel saver. Get your flu shot when it's convenient for you. Schedule online or just stop by your Hy-Vee pharmacy. No appointment necessary. Help your family stay healthy. Get your flu shot and get a 20-cent fuel saver only at Hy-Vee. See store for details. Some restrictions apply.
School's back in session and we're all busy now, and that's why it's hard to get to the grocery store. But you could get your groceries delivered in as little as 30 minutes. That's why I love Hy-Vee's new Get It Faster service. When you're crunched for time and need something fast, Hy-Vee to the rescue. Just download the Hy-Vee app or go to Hy-Vee.com. Choose your store, select your items, and Hy-Vee does all the shopping for me. Choose the Get It Faster option, and your groceries will be ready in a snap. Try it for yourself. Get It Faster delivery or pickup only at Hy-Vee.
How We Made Your Mother is a rewatch podcast that looks back episode by episode at the hit TV show How I Met Your Mother. It's hosted by me, Josh Radnor, along with series co-creator Craig Thomas.
In seasons 1 and 2, we were joined by Neil Patrick Harris, Kobe Smulders, Bryan Cranston, Ashley Williams, Wayne Brady, Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsey, Joe Manganiello, and my brilliant co-creator Carter Bays, and now we are diving into season 3.
So whether it's your 50th rewatch or your first time through, follow How We Made Your Mother wherever you get your podcasts.
You've got a big day, so you use Unstoppable Scent Boosters to give your laundry non-stop freshness. So no matter how long the day goes, you
can't stop this power, this walk, this pose, this strut, this look, this talk.
Your clothes will be so fresh you can confidently strut into that end of the day meeting like a
boss, 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 bosses. Let's talk business in my office.
Add new Unstoppable beads to your wash for 24-hour non-stop freshness so you can smell unstoppable.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
This report is brought to you by Go Car Wash. It's your time to go shine.
For a limited time at Go Car Wash, mention radio and get any wash for just $5. Yep, any wash. That's up to 80% off our best wash. Visit Go Car Wash today. It's your time to go shine.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Crash cleanup continues 35 northbound at 119th. This involves 4 cars, a couple of police cars, so it is some longer delay off to the right shoulder, 35 northbound as you approach 119th. Scoot to the left. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Chris Jones
from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Text line 913-586-7965. Someone sent this text in. C-Dot, if Patrick Mahomes is going to be number one, then it makes perfect sense for the guy protecting his blind side to be number two. Hear what you're saying? That makes perfect sense. What I would counter with is if Josh Simmons is the second most important player on their team, they could possibly be in trouble. And this is why I suggest that. Here's Andy Reid earlier today talking about Josh Simmons, who is dealing with the back injury.
Yeah, just getting his back checked out. So, I mean, that's the main thing. I mean, he was doing good when he was in there. He's got the back. So, like any other injury, I mean, we got to make sure see if it's right or, what's wrong with it.
The reason I would not be overly reliant on Josh Simmons until proven otherwise, Rob, you know how many games Josh Simmons played his senior year of college? He played 6 games his senior year of college. You know how many games Ohio State played that year? They played 16 games that year. You know how many games the Chiefs played last year? You know how many games Josh Simmons played in last season? So if we're going to use your best ability is availability, Josh Simmons has not been very available the last 2 years for his team and is currently dealing with an availability issue because of a back injury. So I understand in theory, but if you were telling me that the Chiefs season is based on Josh Simmons, I don't know. I don't feel entirely confident in that scenario, but I get it. I'm probably a little bit more pessimistic about Josh Simmons than I think the average Chiefs fan is. I think the average Chiefs fan is very optimistic about him, and I think he's been very good when he's been there. The problem with Josh Simmons the last couple of years is he ain't been there. He ain't been available for various reasons. A knee injury, a personal thing, a wrist injury, a back injury. It's just for the last 2 years of Josh Simmons, we just haven't really gotten a lot of uninterrupted football periods from him. It's just normally something has come up.
I actually think, and I'm higher on Josh Simmons than you, you're making the case for why I would have Josh Simmons in the top 5. We talked about like depth and what happens if something bad happens. They do not have a Josh Simmons contingency plan. Like I got
Jalen Moore because
you're the one that tells me he can't play.
I agree with you.
If he can't play, that's not a backup plan.
I agree with you, but I remember
that's a 5-alarm fire.
I remember last year their big swing was Jalen Moore could play left tackle. Hey, look, this team had Trent Williams. Of course, he wasn't going to beat out Trent Williams. So you move Jalen Moore over to the right tackle, to left tackle. Everybody loved Isapole 7 months ago. Khalil Benson was training camp darling. I mean, I'm not saying it's the greatest plan that a team has ever had, but I would say this. If you got Josh Simmons as your left tackle, your team should probably have a contingency plan based on the last couple of years. I don't know why you wouldn't have a contingency plan based on the last 2 years. So the Chiefs need to have a plan B, because his history does not suggest that he's going to play 17 games for you. I certainly hope that he does. But at some point, you got to prove it to me that you can play 17 games and do that on a year-in, year-out basis. My thought process whenever they drafted Josh Simmons was everybody was like, we got our left tackle for the next 10 years. You can put that, the same way that we never have to discuss Creed Humphrey. When's the last time you had to talk about Creed Humphrey? We didn't talk about him in 2 years when he had the little snap issue. He did have a snap issue for a while. He was throwing ground balls over there. But that Creed Humphrey's going to play. He's going to play at a high level. You don't ever got to worry about Creed Humphrey. That's what I thought the Chiefs could possibly be getting at left tackle. That's not what they have right now. Now, I understand they got a future Ring of Honor guy in Creed Humphrey, the best guy at his position. I just love to have a little bit more stability at left tackle. And you could be the most diehard Chiefs fan ever. You can't tell me you think they're stable at left tackle. I don't know how you could have that opinion.
I don't believe they're stable, but can I say they're the most stable they've been since Orlando Brown?
I mean, yeah, but I don't think they've been good at the position.
I feel like they're on more solid ground than they've been in a long time is maybe a better way to say my point. But you're right. He is not exactly Cal Ripken Jr. when it comes to being on the field. Josh Simmons has
for me, so he just said right now, it's reliance, it's importance. If he doesn't play, they're in trouble. That's the point. I just wouldn't put Josh Simmons at 2. I think they have more of a plan if Josh Simmons is not there than they do if George Karlaftis is not there. I think they have more of a plan for Josh Simmons not being there than if Rice is not good this season. Like, let's say that Rashee Rice misses 5 games with an injury, just a football injury happens. I don't know what their wide receiver plan is. And Cyrus Allen, hey, I know that Andy normally brings these rookies along slowly. You don't have time to develop slowly if you're Cyrus Allen. They're going to need you immediately if that's the case. What if another freak accident happens like what happened to Xavier Worthy? Wasn't anything planned. 2 guys in the wrong spot. You ran into each other. Now this guy's out for a couple of weeks. Like, you got to throw some of these guys in the deep end of the pool immediately. And that's why I've held this stance the whole time. Like, their rookie class is not going to be able to come along with training wheels. Like, they're going to need those guys to play from day one in most of those key positions.
They are. That point, I agree with you 1,000%. They are not going to have we're going to, ease you into the pool. They're throwing a lot of these guys in the deep end in 2026 and hoping that they can swim or float. And if they sink, they sink. We have to go on about our business. That I 100% agree with you on. R. Mason Thomas, Peter Wood, this whole group is sink or swim mentality, where the last couple of years it's been ease you into the fold.
Yeah, I want to play this for you guys. Maybe you missed this earlier. This was Dan Orlovsky. We were talking about this as well. This is how Dan Orlovsky feels about the Chiefs and their depth chart heading into the season.
I think the fact that they're going to be dependent on and relying on so many rookies to not only play, but play at a high level is a big concern. I think receiver is a huge concern because Rashee Rice, is he going to be there? How healthy is he? The same with
Xavier Worthy.
They've got to rely on Cyrus Allen a ton, who, again, is a rookie. I mean, we're talking about a team that people are saying Super Bowl contender that is going to need significant contribution from 5 rookies. Significant. If we got to January and in the NFL, the Chargers, both teams are healthy. The Chargers aren't in the playoffs and the Chiefs are, that would be a massive, massive disappointment in LA. Massive.
I don't co-sign that last part. I just wanted to play it for you guys. Just thought it was important to play. It's funny because, we're talking about problems with the Chiefs. We got to talk about the good and the bad. That's, what a sports talk radio show is. I do always like to keep in mind that it could always be worse. And from Ian Rappaport, quote, Tua Tagovailoa's play made it impossible for him to be named Falcons starter. If right now you are in a quarterback competition with Michael Penix and Tua Tagovailoa, your team's in a really, really bad spot. Honestly, I'm serious. Your team's in a really, really bad spot. Like, I feel bad for you if that's the team. I think your team is winning 5 games if that's the situation that you're in.
I was told once they had the best quarterback situation in the NFL.
I was told that too.
That was a sentence said on this show. By neither of us, mind you.
I actually think that Tua at one point had a chance of being a good quarterback. Like, I really do think he had a chance.
The last concussion, I think, broke him.
I think the injuries and the concussion have just broken down his body. Now, I think he always was just a little bit limited. Like, I think that, like, he's just been a limited quarterback. But, I think a lot of times we think, injuries or time or surgery, like, you're just going to have the ability to bounce back. Yeah, I don't think that Tua can ever play football the same anymore. I think his body's beaten up. I think it's absolutely beaten up. So, yeah, I think the Tua in 2022 at 24 years old, he threw for 3,500 yards, 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Now, he also had Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and Devon Achane. I mean, he had some dogs running with them. So, I mean, that's always a good situation. But, yeah, I mean, Tua, when he was a capable quarterback, he was capable of some things. I think that time's over. I think that time's been over for a while.
I think the one-time success of Tua Tagovailoa is why a lot of people are high on the Chargers this year. If Mike McDaniel can make that guy because even at that point in NFL time, we all knew Tua was limited. I think the thought is if Mike McDaniel can do that with Tua, he can do what with Justin Herbert? Because a limited quarterback had a great season. You're right, he had dogs around him, but it was a lot of scheme-based stuff too. But it definitely seems like it's over for Tua. Atlanta was his bounce back, second chance. What Kyler Murray is experiencing in Minnesota, I think some people thought Tua would have in Atlanta, and it is not happening.
All right, this is what I would like to talk to you about. You know how we were talking earlier about like 90s classics where I gave you my dog list, right? So I'd like to play a game with you, Rob. This is the game. Do you remember the movie Aladdin? And in Aladdin, he got 3 wishes, right? Like the genie hands him a lamp and you get to rub the lamp. Now, the rules, there's some rules associated with it. I can't remember what exactly all the rules were, but you guys know the movie that I'm talking about. So, Rob, I would like to hand you a lamp. And this lamp will give you the ability to be the commissioner of college athletics. Now, you can rub this lamp 3 times, and whatever rule you come up with, it cannot be challenged. This is law. It is a decree. I'm going to tell you mine. I'll give you some time to think.
And these are new rules, not like existing rules where it's like, I want to change the pros to that rule.
We are starting over.
Okay.
I'm going to give you my 3 rules in addition to what they have. And this is, so let it be written, so let it be done. Number 1, from your 19th birthday on, you have 5 years to play college athletics. Now, I am willing to create some exemptions. If you are in the military and you are at Air Force and at 21, you go fight for a couple of years and now you come back and play college football, I'm not here to limit the students at Air Force or Army or Navy. Or if you're at BYU in Utah and you go off for religious reasons. And that is why you are outside of this scope. Those are exceptions to it. But that is not the case for 99% of college players. These are not the ones that we are arguing and fighting against. It's the PJ Haggertys. It's the AJ Stores. It's the 25, 26-year-olds who are now playing for their 7th school. So rule number 1 to me would be a simple rule. From your 19th birthday and or your high school team's graduation, you have 5 years to play college athletics. So that's number 1 I would have. Number 2 would be a transfer rule. I told you guys, you can get 1 transfer. I don't care why you transfer. If you grew up in California and you go play basketball at Kansas and you walk outside in January in Lawrence and you're like, it's cold, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't care for what reason you transfer. I don't care if you're at Kentucky and you see the girls at Kansas and now you want to go play basketball there. I don't care. You get 1 free transfer. Now, if you don't like it at Kansas because Bill Self was mean and called you a name and now you want to transfer, fine. Then either Bill Self has quit his job and now you can leave because there was a coaching change, or you can sit out and then transfer again wherever you want, but the clock is still going, but you have to sit out for the next school year. So if you're a football player, you've already made 1 transfer. If you're Dylan Raiola, for example, and you just want to, I want to stay in college. Cool, you can go to Oregon. You can't play football next year at Oregon, but cool, go to Oregon. So that's the other rule I would implement. You get 5 years to play college athletics. I think that's more than fair. You get 1 transfer. You can transfer 1 time without penalty. If you transfer again, it has to be because of a coaching change, or you can either transfer and sit out for a year like the old rules, or you need to go down to the MIAA. Go down to D2 or 1AA. You can still get scouted down there. Kids from D2 go off to the NFL. Kids from 1AA still get a chance to play in the NBA, but you're not playing Division I football anymore. That would be rule number 2 for me that I would create. Number 3 with my genie lamp. There needs to be real penalties for schools. If you are the head coach at Texas and you reach out to the running back at Kansas and try to entice him to transfer, and Kansas can prove that you tampered with their player, you should be ineligible for the college football playoff, ineligible to make a bowl game, and 50% of the revenue sharing money that you receive, you should get cut in half, and that 50% should be dispersed to the other teams in the conference. I don't think this would fix college athletics. I only got 3 wishes. But if the genie from Aladdin handed me and I said I could only use it for college athletics, that's what I would do. You get a 1-time transfer. You get 5 years to play either after your high school graduation or your 19th birthday, whichever one comes earliest. And there needs to be real penalties for schools that cheat. Not, we're going to slap 2 scholarships away from you. That's not a real penalty, especially not in the NIL world. I don't think you should just remove scholarships or roster limitations. That hurts the kids. Your team's ineligible for playing in the college football playoff. I don't care if you go undefeated. You can't play. You cheated. You know you cheated. You knew the rules. You rolled the dice. You cheated. And we're taking some of your money away from you, too. Figure out a new way to get to this money. Those would be my 3 rules if I could rub the genie lamp.
Those are 3 good rules. We're actually similar, but not the exact same. I had the 5 and 5 rule, which is the same as your, age limit. So I don't want, guys who are 26, 27, 28 playing college football. So we're actually in the same with the age one. The one I had that's similar to you but a little different is I have a salary cap. I think a salary cap fixes the transfer problem. If Missouri and Kansas State and LSU and Syracuse and pick a school all have the same amount of money to offer a kid, whether it's a transfer or a 5-star or a 1-star, if they all have the same pot to pull from, then kids aren't going to be interested in transferring as much because I have $100, you have $100. If you want to spend 99 of your dollars on Arch, cool. You only have $1 left for your roster. I would implement a salary cap. I think that's why NFL free agency isn't a free-for-all every year, but I would definitely institute a cap because now you've created competitive balance. And number 2, and again, I guess number 3 because we agree on the age one, I would change the way the television deals are done. Television deals should no longer be done with the conference. There should be a singular body in charge of them. Because right now, it is beneficial for ESPN to have the SEC be considered the best conference. It is beneficial for Fox to have people think the Big Ten is the best conference. The ACC and Big 12 are getting screwed because they are viewed like ugly, ducklings because there is no financial benefit to those member institutions being good. So I would change that. ESPN needs to be as invested in the SEC being good as they are the Sun Belt being good. So television contracts, much like the NFL, shouldn't run through individual conferences. It should run through one single governing body. So when it's TV selection time, if Fox wants the Alabama and Tennessee game, they should have an opportunity. It shouldn't just be ESPN picks and chooses.
Yeah, I'm not really concerned with trying to preserve the Sun Belt and the WAC, but I get you. That's your rules.
I'm with you.
No, it's perfectly fine. If I only get 3 of these rules, I'm sorry. Sun Belt, I'm not looking out for you. I'm looking out for the teams in the Power 4. This is where I disagree. Somebody said, I would implement a contract system anywhere from 1 to 5 years, but you're locked in and can't transfer. Somebody else said, I'm sorry, they get paid now, no transfers, honor something. Yeah, I just don't think that that's realistic to think that, hey, I signed this contract, I can't do anything ever. I have a contract with my employer. I could go work at another radio station. I mean, there's terms in there of how I would have to get out of it. I can't tomorrow just be like, man, you know what? To hell with this. Rob was being mean to me. I can't just do that in violation of my contract. But yeah, so I'm perfectly fine with implementing a contract system. I have no problem with implementing a contract system, but there has to be a way to get out of the deal. There has to be a way to get out of it. So I don't know all the ins and outs, Rob, and you can explain it to me. You would know it better than me, but I'd be perfectly fine with the buyout system. So for example, let's say that you're Bennett Sturts. Let's use the example that we all know. You're Bennett Sturts, and you're at Drake University, and you are balling. You're hooping. And now Kansas wants to come to you and says, hey, we want to offer you a scholarship. I think that Bennett Sturts should have the ability to go take that deal. We see coaches do that. If you're at a lower school and a Power 4 school offers you should have the ability to do it. But you know what there is? There's a buyout clause. If I wanted to go work at a radio station in New York, they would just negotiate a deal with Odyssey. They would then buy the remainder of my contract, and I could just go work there. So what I would create then is a system of, yeah, you want to go play basketball at Kansas? Great. Well, Kansas has to now pay Albany, when we heard that same Melvin Council story for 17 consecutive games, you should have to pay St. Bonaventure for Melvin Council transferring here. You should have to give them $500,000 that they can now use towards NIL, and they can use this towards try to strengthen their roster. So that's how I would fix that problem if I was the college commissioner.
So you basically want soccer transfer, basically. which is what happens now.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to offer you $100 million to this player, and then I negotiate his contract. You can use that $100 million however you see fit. I would like to see that system implemented in some form or fashion in college sports.
So, yeah, that's just where I'm at. So, text line 913-586-7965. Curious to hear what you guys think. If Aladdin gave you 3 wishes and you could only use them on college sports, how would you use your 3 wishes? I told you how I would use mine. We'll go through yours. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Bob Fesco. Are high-interest credit cards and rising bills stressing your budget? You pay every month, but high interest makes getting ahead feel impossible. Your home's equity can help. A refinance with Golden Oak Lending consolidates debt into one manageable monthly payment, giving your budget room to breathe. Get a free mortgage checkup today. Call 913-890-GOLD or visit GoldenOakLending.com. That's 913-890-GOLD. It's Golden Oak Lending, MLS 114937.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circus Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. Dane and Hughes here, and for everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circus Sports app. Then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circus Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older in Missouri. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I felt a jackhammering pain in my jaw.
Like someone sawing my bones.
Barbed wire in my shoulder.
Like a cattle prod in my hip.
Like I put my foot in a blender.
Pain is different for everyone, but where pain starts, Journavx suzetrigine begins. Journavx is a non-opioid 50 milligram prescription tablet for adults with moderate to severe acute pain that reduces pain signals before they reach the brain. Before those signals tell the brain to feel
like I punched an angry beehive.
And pain reduction can finally begin. Do not take Journavx with CYP3A inhibitors. Avoid use with grapefruit or liver problems, as these may increase side effects. Tell your doctor about all your medicines if you are pregnant or breastfeeding. Journavx may make certain medicines and birth control less effective. Side effects include itching, muscle spasms, rash, and elevated muscle enzymes. To learn more about Journavx, ask your doctor. Call 1-833-589-PAIN or visit journavx.com.
Steve here with Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. We're in the Midwest, where tornadoes are real and our water table is high. So we practically tap a well every time we dig a basement. As a plumber, I could tell you that water always wins. This month, we have a sump pump special. $200 off a main pump or $400 off a battery backup system. Protect your basement. If you haven't used us yet, we would love to win you over. Visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com to schedule.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, rock star. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Royals coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
Who is the area's only dealer for Fronius professional welding equipment? Metal by the Foot, located in KC and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
Tune in for the Fan Club Fridays at 1 o'clock with Cody and Gold, presented by Circus Sports. Want your shot at $30 million in guaranteed prizes? Enter one of Circus Sports' premier football contests. Visit circusports.com for details. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere. 96.5 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the car crash kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
A little fender bender off to the right shoulder, 35 southbound at Armour. Everybody looks like to be exchanging information, and then that will be up and out of your way. But for the most part, I just see some yellow. That's on liquor delay. And then down at 35 North, 119th, I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
All right. Sometimes I like to go through the audio of what the other shows are doing. Because sometimes why I do this is what I need for the day, another show has maybe already talked about it. So why have Rob go spend the time to track down the cut, roll the audio in, and prepare it for the radio show if Mac has already done that, if Drew's already done that? So I'll kind of look through it first, and then we'll have a conversation about the audio. But sometimes I look on there, and there'll be things, and I have really no clue what's going on. Now, I don't mean this in a negative sense, but I don't really listen to a lot of the other shows, not on this station or the other station. Like I listen to a lot of national shows, I listen to a lot of national podcasts, but all of my Chiefs thoughts and local thoughts, I try to keep for myself. I try to not be influenced by other people's take, or, I like what they said. I try not to do that. But this audio thing today, Rob, it's got me a little bit intrigued. There are two clips. One says the Popeyes farter. It says, I have no clue what that is. The other one says 2 cops get in a Uber driver car. Which one of these would you like to click on? We only will click on one of these. Which one of these would you like to click on? Because I have not heard these, but I'm imagining if they're in the system that we can play them on the radio. Or if not, we can just blame Drew, and Drew will be the one that get fired and not us. Which one would you like to play? Popeye's farter or 2 cops get in an Uber driver car?
I think I'm going to take the Popeyes one.
Okay, let's hear what it is. I've never heard. Have you heard this before, Rob?
I have not. I think I know what the Uber story is. It's on social media, so I don't
know that story. Let's hear this story, as talked about on Cody and Gold.
Popeye's employee in Louisiana was fired and could face a lawsuit after he farted on raw chicken and served it to customers.
I don't need to hear any more. I'm good. I got it.
Interesting story.
I don't need any more. I mean, I didn't know what it was going to be, but I got everything I needed from that small little clip right there. I got everything I needed. I'm good. That's what they're doing on the midday show? I'm asking, that's the kind of content they have on the midday show? Okay, got it. All right. You want to do this same bit with Fesco? So I'm looking at Fesco's folder. It's not nearly as diabolical as what you just heard. The best thing I see on here, Rob, is Kyle Shanahan on Jed York. Would you like to maybe click on that?
I'm betting he says nothing. We can click on it.
Okay. We can I'll give you another one. Cleveland Browns radio. That's a good one. Cleveland Browns radio is a good one. All right, let me change it. Cleveland Browns radio. They might have taken that bit from us. That's our bit. We listen to the other radio stations. They out here stealing on Fesco's show.
This is different. I actually think this is something that's going to be fairly unique in NFL circles. That I think it's a minority part of the fandom, but it's statistically significant. We'll leave it at that. I think people will be rooting against their favorite football team in those first 2 games. And I think that is a really unique way to start a season. We've seen it at the end of seasons. I've rooted against the Browns by the end of a football season. I've been rooting for them to tank by the end of a season when I feel like there's nothing redeemable about a season. This, in weeks 1 and week 2, I think there are Browns fans that are going to be sitting there hoping he fails, and if it helps the cause, hoping the team fails. And that does not happen in the NFL.
I don't want the team to fail. I really don't even want him to fail. But I have a feeling I know how it's going to go. So what's the point of me trying to drag along something I don't think is going to happen?
I'm going to tell you right now, because all of us have been in this situation. The worst place that you can be in with your team, is rooting against your team. It's a little different at the end of the season because you know that rooting for your team against them at the end of the season will potentially lead to something. Like there is a reward at the end. Hey, if we lose more games and we'll get a better draft pick, and then that draft pick can change things. There's that belief as well. But when it's week 1 and you're rooting against your team, or in college where there is no draft, and now you're rooting because you want them to fire Kim Anderson, it's a real bad spot to be in. KU fans, I think you guys might be there with Lance Leipold. You might not be that far away from when on Saturday you're sitting there watching your team and you're just rooting for them to lose so they could potentially make a change at head coach. That's a real dangerous place to be. I'm here to tell you. It's not any fun to be in that position. I've been there before. Royals fans, you've been there before. When you're rooting against them, oh, it's miserable. It's one of the worst fan feelings you can have.
Chiefs fans have been there.
Oh, for sure.
No one was rooting for the Chiefs at the end of the Romeo Crennel era. It was okay. Let's be done. When did you turn? Was it Kim Anderson?
I've done that so many times. Okay, the text line is saying that was their trash of the day segment. Okay, I did not know this. I did not know this segment existed. So that must be where that other story is. That was the trash of the day for this week or another day. I actually haven't heard this story. Let's hear this story. Hold on. Let's play it.
Yeah.
Hey, give me a ride over there, please. Go, drive that way. That way. Go.
All right.
Go, pick her up.
What's happening?
DeLeon, get in! DeLeon! Go. On!
I don't know what's happening in this clip.
I've seen the clip. I don't think it plays well on radio. An Uber driver was set to pick someone up. 2 cops jumped in, I don't know if it's a he or a her car, and said, I need your help in a pursuit. Go. You're going to help us.
Okay. I got you.
Better on video.
No, I didn't know. I had no clue. I never heard it before. I never heard this trash of the day segment before. I didn't know. I was not aware. I was unaware of the segment. That's why sometimes I go through there. It gives me a good the biggest glimpses I get into other people's show is going through their audio, or right when I get on the air and then I sit down and then I can see the last hour of text that their show. And I'm just like, I don't know what they were talking about. I have no clue what they were talking about.
Sometimes text line when you take over is a wild ride.
Oh, for sure.
Sometimes, it's a sports take. Sometimes it's what's happening.
It's a lot of nonsense sometimes, for sure. Absolutely. Shout out to Cody and Gold. Shout out to Bob Fesco. Shout out to everybody. That's what I like to say. Shout out to everybody. All right. I would like to do something radically different here. Can we pay respects to Dolly Parton? This is how I would like to do it. Peter Burns had a topic on his show this morning. And the topic on the show was Dolly Parton was maybe the most universally loved American woman. She is now passed. Who is now number 1 on this list? Who is the number 1 most universally loved American woman? Rob, I have the top 3 contenders, and I want you to tell me if these top 3 are wrong. We'll do that next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
A little fender bender off to the right shoulder, 35 southbound at Armour. Everybody looks like to be exchanging information, and then that will be up and out of your way. But for the most part, I just see some yellow. That's on liquor delay. And then down at 35 north, 119th, I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
This report is brought to you by Bet365. Winning is everything.
With Bet365 early payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's Chiefs season at Harrah's Kansas City. Every Saturday in August, the excitement kicks off at 6 p.m., where every 15 minutes until 10 p.m., one lucky guest will win up to $2,000 in free play. Then at 10 p.m., one grand prize winner will score a pair of Kansas City season tickets. Wear your red, bring your lucky game day spirit, and join us every Saturday in August at Harrah's Kansas City. Big prizes, big excitement. Don't miss your shot to win.
21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Hey, Albert, can you help us plan and budget for a bathroom renovation?
I certainly can. Let me review your finances.
Who are you talking to?
Albert, my AI financial assistant that I can access right in the app. It automates all things finance, moves money, pays bills, creates personalized alerts, finds savings, and so much more.
Your bathroom renovation financial plan is ready. I found cash you can put aside, and to cover the rest, Albert can get you up to $10,000 fast.
Can you find contractors nearby within our budget?
Here's a list of contractors. Would you like help requesting a $10,000 loan for your bathroom renovation?
Yes! Download the Albert app and use promo code PLAN to access Genius. Plus, get up to $10,000 for whatever you need. Just download the Albert app right now and use promo code PLAN to get up to $10,000. That's promo code PLAN.
At Farmers, our honesty is contagious.
Wait. Am I going to catch honesty?
Well, when you're with Farmers, it's kind of inevitable.
Well, how long does it take to... I lied to you when you asked if I knew what a deductible was. I don't know my dad's birthday, and I thought umbrella policies were for rainstorms. Actual rainstorms. I have it, don't I?
You don't just have honesty.
You have Farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Learn more at farmers.com. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or Affiliate. Products not available in every state.
Hi, this is Kevin Harlan, and I'm here with Rob Seid at Rob Seid Ford. Rob, I smell a grill. What's cooking?
Kevin, the grills are fired up, and so are the deals. Right now at Rob Seid Ford, it's the Ford Employee Pricing Sales Event with the best deals we've had in the past 12 months.
Now that's saying something. What are we talking?
Employee pricing on virtually every new Ford on our lot, plus even more dealer discounts on top.
So how hot do these deals get?
Up to $17,500 off brand new F-150s at Rob Seid Ford, plus huge savings on Expedition, Explorer, Bronco Sport, Bronco, and more.
Wow, that's 5 alarm hot.
Exactly, and unlike Kevin's Burgers, these deals are coming out juicy.
All right, I walked into that one.
Shop Rob Seid Ford, Kansas City's top-rated Ford store on Google. 4.8 stars and nearly 3,500 reviews.
Rob Seid Ford, 135th and State Line, or robseid.com.
Buy right, Rob Seid.
Men, erectile dysfunction can affect much more than just your sex life. It can create stress in relationships, leading to feelings of anxiety or embarrassment, and impact your overall confidence and well-being. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and we specialize in treating men's sexual health issues to help men find solutions that fit their individual needs. ED is a frustrating condition, and many men suffer for years without seeking treatment. But the good news is that if you're like most men, we have the answer. Our licensed medical providers will evaluate your specific medical situation and recommend a plan designed for you. And these advanced medical therapies work, with treatments having success rates of well over 90%. which means you and the one you love can have great sex again without the fear and worry of ED. You can even last up to an hour or more, and you may just find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Car wreck? Get the money you deserve. Mike's got this.
Paid for, client portrayal, and endorsement. Choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
After my car wreck, there was a lot I didn't know.
I do know. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Futures Week starts August 31st with everyone's NFL predictions. This is Kansas City's FM sports station. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, I want to switch up the energy for just a little bit. And I want to pay respects to Dolly Parton. I have learned so much about Dolly Parton over the last 24 hours and how incredible of a person she was, how innovative she was in a lot of areas. I can't think of many times on the way to work, I was listening to country music. Today, on the way to work, I listen to Dolly Parton. I'm in the car, working 9 to 5. I think that Dolly Parton's going to have the #1 song in America next week. I think that's what we'll see. I think there are enough people like me that stream this over the course of the next week. I think Dolly Parton is going to have Michael Jackson-like, everybody ran to listen to Thriller after seeing the movie. I think Jolene and Working 9 to 5 will be very high up on the Billboard charts. She really lived a very remarkable life. I'm watching clips and YouTube videos. It was a Dolly Parton evening for me. Today, as I wake up and I'm getting ready for the show, I see a question from Peter Burns, friend of the show, and he asked the question. He said, that Dolly Parton was the most universally beloved American woman. Now that she has passed, who would you say is #1 on this list? So I threw it in my group chat with my friends. We had a good, spirited conversation about it. So somebody threw out Taylor Swift, and this is why I don't think Taylor Swift is the answer. I don't think Taylor Swift crosses over in that way, in the same way that I think that Dolly Parton did. Dolly Parton is on Beyonce's last album, like all over it. I think Dolly Parton transcended age and race in a way that I don't think Taylor Swift does. Now, she is very, very popular. I don't know if she's as universally beloved as Dolly Parton was. So I don't think that Taylor Swift is #1 on this list. I actually did not have her in the top 3. These were the 3 people that I had, Rob, on the list.
Now, are these just celebrities or just...
Yes.
Okay.
Celebrity women.
So it's not just singer, songwriter,
yes.
whole deal. Okay.
Celebrity women. #1, Julia Roberts.
Okay.
I think people love Julia Roberts. Tomorrow, if you got a random TMZ tweet that said that Julia Roberts passed, it would shut down your timeline. You would stop what you were doing. You would feel sadness about it. And I think that night you would go home and watch a movie that she's in. I think everybody loves Julia Roberts. She has been in some iconic movies. I got Julia Roberts #1. #2 on my list, Rob, I had Meryl Streep.
I think Meryl Streep's the answer, by the way.
I had Meryl Streep #2 on the list for a lot of the same reasons. But I also wonder if Meryl Streep, like, if you're 27, do you feel the way about Meryl Streep that you maybe would about Julia Roberts? So I had Meryl Streep on my list, but I think she is in contention for the Betty White, Dolly Parton. When you pass, everybody is sad. Everybody is heartbroken. Rob, you're going to laugh at me for #3, but I argued this adamantly in my group chat. I think Mariska Hargitay is very high up on this list.
She's not top 3.
I think Mariska Hargitay is very... Now follow me here.
Top 3?
Very popular. She might be the most famous living female television character. Olivia Benson might be. I'm not saying ever, but right now, she might be the most popular, famous living television character. The show's been on for, at this point, generations. You've grown up with Olivia Benson. I think Mariska Hargitay, I don't think she's number one. I think Julia Roberts is number one. I think Mariska Hargitay, if you were just thinking of if you're 18, you love Law and Order. If you're 68, you love Law and Order. I think she has been such an advocate for a very important topic in society during the right time to be an advocate during the Me Too movement. I think a lot of people love Mariska Hargitay. And she's only really done one thing, so she just morphed into she's Olivia Benson now. She doesn't do anything else. I'm Olivia Benson. That was the three that I threw in the chat. I can read you some of the other ones that my friends were arguing. But I argued it was Julia Roberts, Meryl Streep, and Mariska Hargitay. I think that was the three.
I think the answer is Meryl Streep. I don't think Mariska Hargitay should be in there. I'm not saying that your point isn't valid. I don't know that someone who's basically only done one role can be universally loved, because there are people who do not watch Law & Order SVU, and they would never have her enter their zeitgeist.
Okay, that's fair.
Like, Meryl Streep's done everything. And Meryl Streep, by the way, your answer, like, hey, would an 18-year-old watch? She's on Only Murders in the Building right now with Selena Gomez. Like, I think the answer is obviously Meryl Streep. I'm fascinated by what other names were thrown out in your group text, though.
Yeah, I'm sitting here like looking at the text line. I could pull up some other ones. So like Jennifer Aniston. Yeah, I don't think Jennifer Aniston transcends the way that Dolly Parton
Not anymore.
does.
There was a time where Jennifer Aniston was in the...
I mean, I love Jennifer Aniston. Don't get me wrong.
She had a trajectory
I'm just
at
saying
one
is like we're like Jennifer Aniston's on the same level that we think Betty White was like, because Betty White was that person 10 years ago. Everybody loved Betty White. Everybody. I don't know if people love Jennifer Aniston in that way. I think she's a very famous celebrity, of course. I don't think she's on this list, though, that we're talking about.
Oprah's a popular name on the text line.
I don't think that person can be black or not white. Universally loved? Talking about everybody loves them.
You're talking about Oprah. Oprah crossed over 100%.
I think there's a lot of people that don't like Oprah for a certain reason. That I think it makes it hard for you to be number one on this particular list. Because like I think Beyonce is very, very popular, and people love Beyonce in a very passionate way. There's a lot of people that also just strongly dislike Beyonce too.
I think Beyonce falls in the Taylor Swift category.
I agree.
There's a lot of people who dislike Taylor Swift. I don't know why, but they just strongly feel that way.
Yeah, I also don't think you can be political, because like I think a lot of people love Michelle Obama, but I just don't think she can be number one on this list of being universally beloved for a bunch of different reasons.
I think that's the kind of same problem that Oprah has a little bit.
What would you do with Martha Stewart? The thing that I struggle with Martha Stewart is, why do we love Martha Stewart? Like, I know why we love Dolly Parton. She made some of the greatest songs that anybody's ever sang. I know why we would love Julia Roberts. Why do we love Martha Stewart? I love her too. You know, that's my old baddie. I don't know why we love her.
Also, is someone who went to prison for insider trading universally loved? Like,
for sure. I mean,
she has, like,
people love Snoop Dogg. He went to jail.
Like, Dolly Parton doesn't have like that red flag, like a better term, on her resume, or didn't.
Somebody threw out a name, Halle Berry.
I think that's...
Halle Berry's a very good one.
I agree.
Halle Berry is kind of one of those people that everybody just acknowledges, oh, she's attractive.
Yeah, that's what her popularity is, though. Like, if you're a 45-year-old woman, other than being like, yeah, Halle Berry is attractive, what are you like, man, I just love Halle Berry, and here's the why. She doesn't have, like, an Oscar nom type of thing. Like,
she does. She won Best Actress. You remember that from Monsters Ball.
Oh, I forgot about Monsters Ball.
Yeah, she did win for Monsters Ball. What a weird movie to win Best Actress for.
Yeah, actually.
What a weird film.
Very odd.
Yeah, what a weird movie to win it for. Somebody said, well, Reba McEntire. Reba's a really good one. I don't think she's number one, but I do think she's very high up on the list. You will be very, very sad the day that Reba McEntire passes away. Like, whenever that hits your timeline, even if you're not a big country fan, you're like, oh, damn, Reba McEntire died. She's a good answer to me for this question.
She's a good answer.
That's what I was wondering.
I don't know that she's crossed over, though, has she?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think she's number one. Sandra Bullock, do you think she's high on this list? I don't think so.
I think there was a time where she had the trajectory to be there.
But she's not higher on this list over Julia Roberts.
No.
That's what I'm saying. I think this is the list. I think it's Julia Roberts, Meryl Streep, and Olivia Benson. I think those are the top three most beloved American women right now on the list. That's the list. Madonna, absolutely not on this list. Not putting her on here. A lot of people are arguing Jennifer Aniston. I don't even get it. I just don't think Jennifer Aniston crosses over in the way that you guys think she crosses over. I mean, yeah, she's attractive.
Again, not anymore.
I just don't think she crosses over like that.
If it was 2005, I would listen to the argument. But it's 2026.
Yeah, I just don't think it crosses over in that way. Like tomorrow, if Jennifer Aniston passed away, I don't know if the world stops. It feels like the world has stopped for Dolly Parton passing away, and everybody has incredible things to say about her. Like, I think you have to be on that list. Like, you have to stop the everybody stops, oh my goodness, I can't believe this happened. And that's why I think Dolly's like number one on this list.
Dolly is so unique because she was popular for being an artist, and then she was popular for doing basically, as we've learned to come to find out, so much charity. I did not know that about Dolly Parton. I mean, that's, ignorant by me. I just had no idea.
Yeah, I actually was thinking this, and I know the Texans get mad. I don't know if we would allow a celebrity to operate anymore the way we allowed Dolly Parton to operate. Like, I think if you I was going through some of her quotes and things that she did. If there was a new artist today that operated the way that Dolly Parton operated, America would hate her and call her woke. She's a major reason on why we had the COVID vaccine. She was very pro Black Lives Matter. I think people now, if there was let's say Olivia Rodrigo did everything that Dolly Parton, America would hate that artist. Hate them. And I just think we just grew up loving Dolly, and then she was this lovable old woman. How could you be mad at her for feeling these ways? Some of the people that came out and said, rest in peace, Dolly Parton, it surprised me because I'm you don't believe any of these things. I'm shocked you like this person. I just think she was able to operate in a very, very unique way. Jamie Lee Curtis is a very interesting one. She might cross over. Everybody loves Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, she doesn't have any red marks against her.
That's what I'm saying. Jamie Lee Curtis is a very, very good one, honestly. A very, very good one. A very, very good one. So I just wanted to share that with you. Me and my friends, we were arguing that in our group chat today. That was it. It was a very, very, very spirited conversation. Those are my three. All right, we'll get back to very serious football things. Keep it right here, so drive.
You're listening to The Drive.
My man Carrington Harrison.
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Listen up, guys. Do you think you know who's going yard today? Well, FanDuel is giving you a free chance to prove your baseball expertise with Daily Dingers. Here's how it works. Make your pick on who's going to hit a home run. And if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a shot at extra winnings. Now, when your favorite star goes deep and knocks it out of the park, it'll feel that much sweeter. Daily Dingers is free to play, and you can lock in a pick every day of the baseball season. And that's why FanDuel is your home for home runs. Get ready to play your game. Make your first pick at FanDuel.com/local. One more time, that's FanDuel.com/local to play Daily Dingers and make your free pick on who's going yard today. FanDuel, an official partner of Major League Baseball, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issue with non-withdrawable profit boost. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Summer's here and Smokehouse Barbecue has you covered. If you're planning on grilling out, let Smokehouse Barbecue handle the heavy lifting with all the sides. If you're having family in town for vacation, bring them by. They have room to accommodate large parties. And if you're heading up to St. Joe for training camp, make Smokehouse Barbecue your ultimate pit stop for the best barbecue in Kansas City. Visit them in Gladstone, Zona Rosa, or Independence, or at SmokehouseBBQ.com. That's SmokehouseBBQ.com. It's Smokehouse Barbecue.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Flu season is here. Get your flu shot today at your local Hy-Vee pharmacy. It's easy, convenient, and no appointment is necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. That's right, a 20-cent fuel saver. Get your flu shot when it's convenient for you. Schedule online or just stop by your Hy-Vee pharmacy. No appointment necessary. Help your family stay healthy. Get your flu shot and get a 20-cent fuel saver only at Hy-Vee. See store for details. Some restrictions apply.
School's back in session and we're all busy now, and that's why it's hard to get to the grocery store. But you could get your groceries delivered in as little as 30 minutes. That's why I love Hy-Vee's new Get It Faster service. When you're crunched for time and need something fast, Hy-Vee to the rescue. Just download the Hy-Vee app or go to Hy-Vee.com. Choose your store, select your items, and Hy-Vee does all the shopping for me. Choose the Get It Faster option, and your groceries will be ready in a snap. Try it for yourself. Get It Faster delivery or pickup only at Hy-Vee.
New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible and fights stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. But you washed that all away with Game, and now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. Ah, no, that's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever, now with odor-fighting power. New Game Plus with Oxy.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Skechers elite athlete OG Anunoby has been making history on the basketball court.
Anunoby tips it in. Unbelievable. What a shot.
He's been balling out in Skechers high-performance basketball sneakers, and the world is noticed. But how does OG train off the court to keep in peak physical condition? Hands-free Skechers Slip-ins Aeroburst. They help prepare OG for the physical demands of playing at a championship level. Get your pair of Aeroburst for only $165 at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever high-performance running shoes are sold.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a social media manager.
Did you just post our Q4 earnings to your personal social media?
Oh yeah, used the trending audio and everything.
That's confidential financial data.
Relax. It only went a little viral.
The SEC just commented with the eyeball watching emoji.
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today. And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Okay, big problem that we've got is 35 northbound at Johnson. Left lane is blocked, big backups, so you will tap your brakes through here. Other side of things, okay, 435 southbound. Exit ramp right lane blocked, 435 at 70. You will need to scoot to the left. That's going to be the quickest way through here. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Rashi Rice from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back into the show. A lot of people are still texting in. The question was, Dolly Parton was a universally beloved American woman. Who do you think is now number one on the list? The text line is offering up some of their suggestions. Some I think are very good suggestions. Some are Kim Kardashian, which is certainly not the most beloved American woman. I think there's a lot of people that strongly dislike Kim Kardashian as a person. All right, Rob, let's talk about very serious football things as we get going. I would say that we are now officially 2 weeks away from the start of the season. I know we are not 2 weeks away from their first game, but I think you and I have done this enough to know that the Wednesday practice and press conference is the beginning of a new week in the National Football League. You play on Sunday. Monday, we all react. Tuesday, they're off. Wednesday, you get the Andy Reid press conference. Patrick Mahomes does his press conference. They have their first practice where you see the injury availability, and that's where we start to wonder if you are playing or if you are not playing. I think that's the beginning of the week. So we are exactly 2 weeks away from that. We are 2 weeks away from the start of the NFL season. We are 2 weeks away from it. How are you feeling about the Chiefs? I'll give you some time to think about it. I'll let you know where I am with the Chiefs. I told you where I am from a big picture sense. But what is starting to worry me about the Chiefs is they're just picking up a lot of bumps and bruises, and we haven't started playing real football yet. Think about what our August has consisted of discussing. Their number one corner was in non-contact drills for basically 60% of training camp. Their left tackle is dealing with an injury right now. Their right guard is dealing with an injury right now. It has been kind of off and on for this team and kind of getting that continuity and getting guys healthy. We spent a lot of time these last couple of years talking to Mitch Holtis about the Chiefs, and his big belief is the reason the Chiefs start so strong is they dominate August. They take August seriously. They take training camp seriously. They take the preseason seriously, and they hit the ground running. I do wonder, heading into a game and heading into 2 weeks away from game week, you kind of got to hit the ground running. Because losing to the Broncos and losing the home game against the Broncos, I know people are going to spin it like, oh, it's just one game. I mean, you've lost home field advantage against maybe your biggest contender in the division. You got to work extra hard to make that up. And then it makes the Broncos game later on in the season an absolute must-win. You cannot lose both of those games. And I'm going to guess they're probably an underdog at Denver. We obviously got to see how the season goes on. So right now, my biggest focus, my biggest concern is the Chiefs got to hit the ground running. Like, you got to hit it week one. You need to be playing very good football to beat who, in my mind, is a very good football team. And I am wondering out loud if they are healthy enough to play at that level from week one.
My big picture thing is very similar to yours. Like, I have my questions about pass rush. I have my questions about the receiving core, so on and so forth. The team is the team. Nothing is changing. They have handled the preseason different than they ever have. Ever. Andy Reid, if there's one thing that we've always joked about in this show, that Andy Reid is a creature of habit. Hey, if a player doesn't practice, is he going to play? We know the answer is no, because Andy Reid has always said, if you don't practice, you don't play. This preseason, they operated different. Chris Jones played one snap in the first preseason game. Patrick Mahomes hadn't played any snaps in the preseason. It's been a lot of backups. It's been on the pendulum of old school Andy Reid to, current Sean McVay. Andy Reid pivoted way more to a McVay energy than he did his regular self. So it's different. I think they are more talented than Denver, or I think they have a chance to be more talented than Denver this year. So I'm not saying it's a 5-alarm fire, but my big picture is, were they right about how they handled the preseason? The injuries piling up the way Thanos collected the Infinity Stones is a little bit concerning, but let's just see what happens. We haven't gotten that, Ian Rappaport alert that so-and-so is out for a long period of time. It is definitely something to monitor, but they handled the preseason different than they ever have.
Yeah, and maybe this is me overreacting, and sometimes that's the job, right? That's the nature of it. I just feel like for the last 15 months, something has always been wrong with the Chiefs. And there was like a long portion of where, everything was just going absolutely perfect with them. Like, someone just sent this in, and I agree with it. Text line 913-586-7965. Let me see if I can find it. It just feels like this is how it's going to be with Joshua Simmons. Vague injuries and absences. I don't want to overreact to these injuries, but this next text, why is everyone freaking out so bad about guys sitting out? Most of the time we've said, why is Mahomes and Chris Jones playing in preseason games? If you're coaching, you're Josh Simmons, you tell me you need to go sit down. I need everybody healthy week one. The Chiefs aren't a young team overall anymore. Yeah, I actually would disagree with a lot of that. I'm actually very pro playing in the preseason games. What my conversation is about Joshua Simmons is, respectfully, for the last 8 months, it's always been something with Joshua Simmons. Like, since Joshua Simmons has been on the Chiefs, he played for a little bit. He was gone the entire second month of the season. The entire second month. It's not like Josh Simmons missed the games that didn't matter for the Chiefs anymore. I don't care what you did the last 3 games of the season. It was in the middle, right when the Chiefs started ascending, right when they started playing their best football. They didn't have their left tackle for those games. He then came back. He played another handful of games. He then got injured. We're now heading into the season. We're 2 weeks into it. Now we're dealing with another injury where this is what the head coach had to say earlier today.
Yeah, just getting his back checked out. So, I mean, that's the main thing. I mean, he was doing good when he was in there. He's got the back. So, like any other injury, I mean, we got to make sure see if it's right or, what's wrong with it.
And maybe this is a very unrealistic expectation. Maybe it is. You know what I would love for Josh Simmons to be? I would love for Josh Simmons to be Creed Humphrey. Creed Humphrey, Rob, has started every single game since he has been a member of the Kansas City Chiefs. You know what we've never, ever discussed? If Creed Humphrey wasn't going to play on Sunday. Not one single time have we ever had that conversation. Not one time have we ever not thought that Creed Humphrey wasn't one of the best players at his position in the NFL. People were calling him that 5-6 games into his rookie year. We were talking about him like he was Jason Kelce, and he's played like that so far. I believe Creed Humphrey is one day going to be in the Chiefs' Ring of Honor. I think Creed Humphrey is one of the best offensive linemen in the National Football League. You knew that at age 22, and he's been that basically every day that he has been on campus at the at the Chiefs. Every single day he's been like that. That's not how this Joshua Simmons thing has gone. And for an organization that prided themselves on not having a question at left tackle, right now they still have a question at left tackle. We've never not had a question at left tackle. When was the last time you felt 100% confident in their left tackle position?
Orlando Brown?
It's been a while. It's been a little bit of a while. So I don't want to overreact to a Joshua Simmons injury, but we're 2 weeks into the season and we're now having another conversation about him being available. He wasn't available at the end of the season for Ohio State. He wasn't available at the end of the season for the Chiefs. He wasn't available in the middle of the season for the Kansas City Chiefs. I just want to stop talking about Joshua Simmons. He's over there at left tackle. He plays in 15, 16 games. We don't got to worry about it anymore.
As someone who was high on Josh Simmons, was hoping that would be the case this year. And up until mid-camp, when this back injury or whatever is happening started barking at him, that was the case. The thought was this year he's not going to go MIA for a while. He's not going to break his wrist, although no one ever predicts injuries in football. And as someone who thinks he is a good left tackle, I mean, not Orlando Pace, but he's a good left tackle, it is frustrating that the story with Josh Simmons is availability, not ability. Because I do think when he's on the field, we can disagree on the quality left tackle he is, but it's hard. I don't have a leg to stand on when he's never on the field.
Oh, for sure.
When it's Jalen Moore and Issa Pole, I can't defend his play. Oh, well, when he's out there, he's never out there.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not blaming all of this. All of this is not his fault. His senior year of school, they played 16 games. He played in 6 of them. Last year for the Chiefs, they played in 17 games. He played in 8 of them. You need Joshua Simmons to play in 14 games. You need him to play in 15 games. I don't think you're going to be an Iron Man the way that Will Shields were or the way that Creed Humphrey has been so far. I mean, it's a blessing to have your center play in every single game that you've played over his 5-year career. That's an abnormal thing. But you have been in a position with Creed Humphrey basically since he came into the National Football League that you have just not had to worry about it a whole lot. You knew exactly what you had. You believed in what you had. And we have not discussed question marks for the Chiefs at center in 5 years. I would say for the most part, we haven't really discussed it at right guard either. I mean, looking at it, Trey Smith last year played in 12 games. The last 3 games of the season. What does it really matter? Outside of that, the first 4 years for Trey Smith, 17, 16, 17, and 17. And he's played a Pro Bowl caliber right guard the entire time. They drafted Joshua Simmons with the expectation of that's what they were getting at left tackle, that he was going to be a crock pot over there. You put the ingredients in there, you set it, and you can come back 6 hours later and you can have dinner. That's what the expectation was at left tackle. That's just not how the experience has gone so far. Rob, we got a little bit of breaking news. You don't have to hit the sounder if you don't want. Have you read the news about the Pro Bowl?
I have read the news about the Pro Bowl. I was preparing for the sounder.
All right, well, hit it then.
The Drive. First to breaking news in Kansas City.
They are getting rid of the Pro Bowl.
Good.
The Pro Bowl will be no longer. So this is going to be the plan for the Pro Bowl. They're still going to announce the Pro Bowl teams. But let me read you the story. On Wednesday, league executives presented to team owners the future of the Pro Bowl, which will no longer have a standalone game. 88 players will receive Pro Bowl honors with no alternates. A key aspect, blah, 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 all of those things. So that is the story right now. This is the correct thing to do. This is what I would love for them to do. Now, I know the NFL is going to do it because you got to spend money for it, and they're not really into spending money. But I talked to Mitchell Schwartz enough that it was a really cool deal that he got a chance to go to the Pro Bowl. Just like anything. Rob, if they had a conference for the top 50 sports talk hosts, they were going to send you to Hawaii, it'd be cool to be there and be with all these guys and talk about the job and network and do all of these things. So Mitchell Schwartz, when he's got a chance to go to the Pro Bowl, he's always said, I loved going to the Pro Bowl. It was in Hawaii. I got to talk to these other guys. We got to work together. We got to do all these things. You could bring your family on these trips. It would be cool if they could keep that component. You know they're not going to do it. But I also think, it becomes a mockery when somebody like Shedeur Sanders makes the Pro Bowl. There's no other way to put it. I don't got nothing against Shedeur, but last year, Shedeur Sanders completed 56% of his passes. He threw 7 touchdown passes and had 10 interceptions. And he was named to the Pro Bowl team because there were not enough eligible quarterbacks to qualify. Then let's just do where let's have the 3 quarterbacks, the running backs. Let's still keep the honor of you are a Pro Bowler because that factors into my Hall of Fame conversations. I know we have everybody can make the Pro Bowl. Everybody doesn't make the Pro Bowl 9 times. A lot of guys make it 1 time. Maybe you can make it twice. You don't make the Pro Bowl 5 or 6 times if you're not a very good player. That's just not how the NFL works or any job works when it comes to that. So I'm perfectly fine with them doing it this way. Let's still have the honor of you are a Pro Bowler. You are one of the 3 best quarterbacks in the AFC. You're one of the top defensive players. Let's still keep the honor. We all understand that that's not as special as you being an all-pro and you being on that list. That's the top 22 regardless of AFC, NFC. Let's hand you a plaque, acknowledge that you are a Pro Bowler. Why do we need to play this game that nobody wants to play in? Why are we watching these guys play dodgeball against each other?
I like to eliminate all the goofy little games. That was dumb. Here's my one thing, and I'm not a Pro Bowl supporter. I'm happy it's gone. What's the difference now between being a Pro Bowler and being all-pro? Just who votes on it? Is it that simple? Because in baseball and basketball, the All-Star game equally as goofy, equally as dumb. But at least I can differentiate being a first-team All-Pro versus a first-team Pro Bowler are different. Sometimes they're crossover. How is the Pro Bowl now going to be any different than All-Pro?
I think this is more players that are nominated, where for one,
because 88's a lot, by the way.
100%. I'm fine with that. I get what you're saying. I understand. Like, if you're not going to play the game, what's the reason of having 2 of these teams? Just have one of the teams. I think football is a little different where I don't mind creating a 53-man roster, which that's how I look at it. Hey, what was the best 53-man roster that you can create in the AFC? We do the same thing for the NFC, and then All-Pro. You were the best player or second best player at your position. I think there's a little bit 2 different lists, but I do understand fundamentally what you're saying.
Yeah, I think the reason you think they're 2 different lists is because we grew up in the Pro Bowl era. But let's say 5-10 years from now, fast forward. Will a kid who's right now 17, 18, 19, at 24, 25, 26 really be able to differentiate the difference between the Pro Bowl and the All-Pro? Because it's just going to be an accolade on your Pro Football Reference page. It's not going to be a real thing.
I think that stuff matters when you come to Hall of Fame, though. Let me ask you this. This is the genuine question. When was the last time that a sport that we love shrunk? This is the NFL in some ways acknowledging this doesn't work. They never acknowledge things don't work. I don't think the Chargers moving to Los Angeles works. I think the Chargers would be better served if they were somewhere else. You think the NFL is going to announce that and admit that? Them is them telling you, hey, our idea doesn't work anymore. That's just not really how they operate. When was the last time the NFL acknowledged something like this? Like, you got to really, really dig deep and really think about that with the National Football League. When's the last time they canceled something or stopped doing something? Because everything about the NFL gets bigger. Like, if I told you today there is major Pro Bowl news, what's more likely? The Pro Bowl is going to Netflix or they are canceling the Pro Bowl? You would have said that it's going to Netflix. You would have said that it's going to Amazon Prime, that Amazon Prime is paying for it and they're just going to blow it out of the water as a television entity. I would have never guessed they were going to completely get rid of all things Pro Bowl and just give up on the television aspect of it.
Yeah, I'm now wondering what is the last time they said less? They gave us a taste of streaming. They gave us more. International, they've given us more. Playoff, they've given us more. The NFL schedule now is a week, leak. It's more. The season is longer than ever.
Texan made a really good point. The kickoff was the last time they did that.
Yeah, but
the kickoff. I mean, that's a really good point. They've done it twice. Then they did it with the kickoff and with the extra point. Now, those are more game rules specifically than anything, but I do get the thing of it. The kickoff was not working anymore, so I gave the NFL a lot of credit. The extra point was a waste of everybody's time. With these kickers kicking 22-yard field goals, is a waste of everybody's time. They're making them 99% of the time. They make them 90% of the time, but the ones that you miss, yeah, they mean a lot over the course of a season of a game. That was a good pull.
Yeah, that's fair. I wasn't thinking game points. I was thinking like 10,000 foot.
No, for sure. No, that was a good point.
I mean, they even expanded replay. We get more replay now than we ever have in the NFL. Not that we want it, but we get more. You're right. If you had said when we were prepping the show, hey, there's going to be Pro Bowl news today, I'd have been like, great, it's on Peacock. Cool.
Yeah, so I would have guessed. For sure. That's what I would have guessed. I would have guessed that if you had told me that one or two things were possible today, that it was expanding and they were going to do more with the Pro Bowl or eliminate the Pro Bowl, I'd have told you that it was going to streaming. So I am a little bit surprised that is the news that we got today. So there will be no more random Pro Bowlers. That's over now. You agree that's over?
88 players are making this new Pro Bowl. That's a ton.
I know, but they just said no alternates, though. So it's going to be the original teams. So it's going to be whichever one's from the very, very beginning. So what happened with a guy like Shedeur was, well, obviously last year, so Mahomes couldn't do it. He wasn't healthy enough. So they weren't going to make him an alternate. All of these other ones. So they're just going to do the original teams from the very, very beginning, and that's the only people that make the Pro Bowl. So the random, you're really the ninth quarterback that they asked to do it, that's over in the National Football League. You are not a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, I think some randos will get in there, though, because, comparing it to the All-Pro team's, basically, 40 guys? Because it's, a couple positions have two that make All-Pro. You have a second team All-Pro. There's only one All-Pro quarterback. It's not like there's 5 or 6 of them. The Pro Bowl is going to still have 6 quarterbacks make the roster. There's a chance a rando gets in there here and there. But you're right, the regular churn won't be as bad.
So we were just talking about Joshua Simmons. We'll get back to the Chiefs. We're talking about Joshua Simmons. So he's been out with the back injury. Kenneth Walker also hasn't been practicing as well. Very different issue for him.
Ken Walker, his shoe has been caused some swelling on his ankle there. So we're trying to get that down. But he's okay. He's going to be fine. But we're trying to just get that out of there.
I don't want to overreact. But the way that he described Kenneth Walker's injury and the way that he described Joshua Simmons' injury, two very different ways. He gave you no reason to feel worried about the Kenneth Walker injury. He kind of gave you a reason to feel worried about Joshua Simmons.
Yeah, just getting his back checked out. So, I mean, that's the main thing. He was doing good when he was in there. He's got the back. So, like any other injury, we've got to make sure see if it's right or, what's wrong with it?
I think that Joshua Simmons is done for the rest of the preseason. I think he's done. There's no chance they're putting him on the field on Friday. He's not playing. The question to me is he going to practice in 2 weeks? In 2 weeks, they have their first real practice. That is we're getting ready for the Broncos practice. It's game week. You got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, injury reports. So we are about 17 days away from the injury report that matters on Joshua Simmons and is he playing or not. I would guess Ashton Gelati is not playing week 1. So you're going to need a lot of R. Mason Thomas. You're going to need a lot of Felix Onyeudike. That's what I would guess. Let's see with Joshua Simmons, because him not being there radically changes their offensive line and what they need to do. That means Jalen Moore is moving over to left tackle. That means Khalil Benson is playing right tackle. So an undrafted right tackle could be playing for the Chiefs, and you're going up against one of the 5 best defensive lines in the National Football League. They could really, really use their offensive line to get healthy. You need Trey Smith back. You need Joshua Simmons back going up against that Denver front 4. Keep it right here, Sid Drive.
Your home for all things Chiefs football and Royals baseball.
I'm a professional complainer.
Is The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, let me tell you guys about my friends over at Gates Barbecue. And with 5 locations around town, you are never too far away from the best barbecue in Kansas City. So it doesn't matter if it's just you and the wife going out for lunch, go pick up the nooner. Maybe you're grabbing dinner. So you want to get 2 beef on buns. Maybe you want to get a mixed plate because it's just you eating. Maybe you're hosting a watch party. I mean, football is right around the corner and you plan on watching a little week 0 college football action. Well, make sure you got your small party tray. Make sure you got your large party tray. Maybe you're having people over to celebrate the start of the football season. You know the holidays are right around, so you want the presidential platter. You know with any Gates order, you got to make sure that the sides are absolutely on point. So you already know about the classic fries. Got to make sure you get the seasoning on there. You got to get the burnt mac. That's starting to be a must every single time I go in there. You get the mac and cheese. They also get the burnt ends. They top it on the macaroni. Let me tell you, it's fantastic. It doesn't matter what your barbecue needs are. With football right around the corner, the holiday right around the corner, make sure that whatever it is, it includes our friends over at Gates Barbecue.
Hop in a John Deere Gator XUV for a day's work. Let's see what's on the to-do list. There goes the tree. And the fence. Not a problem, because you've got a cargo box filled with solutions. Up to 4,000 pounds of towing capacity, and you're ready to roll.
The power's out!
Here we go again. The Gator XUV, built for every kind of workday. Learn more at johndeere.com/Gator XUV. Nothing runs like a deer.
This report is brought to you by Go Car Wash. It's your time to go shine.
For a limited time at Go Car Wash, mention radio and get any wash for just $5. Yep, any wash. That's up to 80% off our best wash. Visit Go Car Wash today. It's your time to go shine.
When a pipe bursts or your AC quits, you don't need a quick fix. You need a team you can trust. And that's Ready Services. They have been that team for more than 6 decades. Family owned and operated, celebrating more than 60 years keeping Kansas City comfortable with expert HVAC, plumbing, and drain cleaning. Get honest repairs at the right price, never high pressure sales at Ready Services. Go to reddiservices.com and get the job done right the first time. That's Ready Services, reddiservices.com.
They say 40 is the new 20, and that's because guys in their 40s, 50s, and 60s are walking around with the testosterone levels of their 20s. If you want that energy drive, the libido of your younger self, then go to Low T Center like the thousands of other men have. Go to fixmylowt.com and book your free T-test today.
It's Chiefs season at Harrah's, Kansas City. Every Saturday in August, the excitement kicks off at 6 p.m., where every 15 minutes until 10 p.m., one lucky guest will win up to $2,000 in free play. Then at 10 p.m., one grand prize winner will score a pair of Kansas City season tickets. Wear your red, bring your lucky game day spirit, and join us every Saturday in August at Harrah's, Kansas City. Big prizes, big excitement. Don't miss your shot to win.
21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Do you feel like you're just not the man you used to be? Are you experiencing low energy, poor sleep, brain fog, workouts that aren't getting you the gains that you're used to? Maybe the weight's a little bit harder to lose, or the sex drive just isn't where it needs to be. Could be low testosterone. And over at Heartland Men's Health, they have an experienced medical team that specializes in diagnosing and treating low testosterone and other hormonal issues with a personalized treatment plan that may include TRT and other advanced therapies. Many men report having more energy, better workouts, improved sleep, sharper focus, and renewed confidence after treatment. You can take a free low T quiz over at heartlandmenshealth.com, schedule a consultation. You'll receive lab work. You'll renew your results with a licensed medical provider and discuss the treatment options that are right for you. So don't settle for feeling less than your best. Pick up the phone and call this number, 844-447-6600, and call my friends at Heartland Men's Health today, or check out the website, heartlandmenshealth.com. It's time to start feeling like yourself again.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Rob Sight Ford, KC's Ford volume leader and top rated on Google. 135th and State Line. Rob Sight Ford, your 2025 Ford volume leader. Top rated on Google with 4.8 stars and 3,000 plus reviews. The best selection, best prices, and Kansas City's best customer service. Visit Rob Sight Ford at 135th and State Line. Buy right, save big, and drive home a winner. Only at Rob Sight Ford.
Expect mostly clear skies tonight with a low of 67.
Weather brought to you by Staples. It's the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech and more at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
Tune in for the Fan Club Fridays at 1 o'clock with Cody and Gold, presented by Circus Sports. Want your shot at $30 million in guaranteed prizes? Enter one of Circus Sports' premier football contests. Visit circusports.com for details. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere. 96.5 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Okay, 35 is opening up the crash at, I believe, 119th. Okay, it's gone anyway, but red, a lot of red. Folks are still unwinding. Then we've got front 435, southbound at front, entrance ramp, right lane blocked. Expected delays there. I'm Bauer Traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Follow the station on Instagram at TheFan965 for giveaways and behind-the-scenes content.
As we are signing off today, I would like to share with you something we talked about earlier today. There was a list on Arrowhead Pride, and the list on Arrowhead Pride was the 10 most important members of the Kansas City Chiefs. Now you know who number 1 is. Number 2 was Joshua Simmons. Number 3 was Chris Jones. Number 4, Creed Humphrey. Number 5, Trey Smith. Number 6, Mansour Delane. Number 7, Kenneth Walker. Number 8, George Karlaftis. Number 9 is Kingsley Suamataia. And number 10 was Travis Kelce on the list. So if you missed it, the point that I made earlier is I would put George Karlaftis second on this for this reason. I think at other positions they have a plan B. I don't know if they have a plan B if George Karlaftis is hurt. If George Karlaftis tears a muscle and has to miss an extended amount of time, you're very reliant on guys who have never gotten to the quarterback at the NFL level. Now, you might be frustrated with George Karlaftis and think that his career should be going a little bit differently, but I think you at least have to acknowledge this with George Karlaftis. He has played in 60 games as an NFL player. He has a sack in 30 of them. He's good. Should there be more? That's up for interpretation. But if you were just talking about, do you have a good pass rusher who is going to play a large majority of the time, 17, 16 starts, 11, and 15, and you lose that guy, and now you go to Ashton Gelati, who's banged up right now, R. Mason Thomas, who is a rookie. You're looking at FAU, who has been a disappointment so far, and now you're relying on him to be on the field and gets you snaps. I would have moved George Karlaftis higher up on my list. I also think Rice or Worthy have to be on the top 10. They don't have enough depth at wide receiver to deal with one of them being out for an extended amount of time. This wide receiver room is not deep enough for Xavier Worthy to be out for 5 weeks. This wide receiver room can't deal with Rashee Rice getting into trouble or Rashee Rice missing an extended period of time. So I would make my list. It would be a little bit more predicated on, do you have a plan B? Do you have an option? I like Kenneth Walker, but if Kenneth Walker is out, I think that DeMercado and Emmett Johnson can hold it down for a couple of weeks. Mansour Delane, I think they have enough at corner where they can manage for a couple of weeks if he's not there. I don't know if they have enough to manage at some of these other positions, so I would have put George Karlaftis a little bit higher up on my list.
Isn't the fact they might not have anything to manage one of the reasons why left tackle was so high? Because I don't think Jalen Moore can play. I don't know, left tackle. He has to be their plan at right tackle. But I don't think he is a solution at the left tackle spot at all. I think we saw it last year in spots when Josh Jones was MIA, and I think we've seen the preseason when it was bad. So I think what you're saying for George Karlaftis could also be applied to Josh Simmons, which is why Josh Simmons comes in at number 2 most important. Because if he's hurt or absent or bad, the Chiefs have to shuffle the deck chairs, and I've seen the deck chairs get shuffled. It's the Titanic up there if it's Khalil Benson and Jalen Moore on right and left.
I'm not as worried as you are about Jalen Moore at left tackle and Issa Pole at right tackle. Now, I don't know if Khalil Benson is a tackle in the National Football League. They seem to like Khalil Benson more than they like Issa Pole. But if for a week you had Moore at left tackle and he's playing a more natural position, and I thought Issa Pole handled himself well out on the tackle position, I think you could manage if that ends up being the case. I guess my biggest point to me with Joshua Simmons, and I'll knock on wood for this, is you should probably prepare for Joshua Simmons not playing in all the games. Like if Joshua Simmons is your left tackle, based on the information we have right now, you should be preparing that something can potentially go wrong with him because his last 2 football seasons, something has gone wrong. Now, you can obviously change by perception. You stay healthy this year, you put up a Pro Bowl kind of season, you play in 17 games. Yeah, you can turn it around. But until otherwise, I think it's reasonable to be a doubter. I think it's reasonable to be a skeptic when it comes to that player. We're in August, we're talking about an injury right now with Joshua Simmons and that he's dealing with something. So I need a prolonged period of we are not worried about Joshua Simmons. Because if you remember, even when he was entering the league, remember, we thought there was a chance they were going to redshirt him, and they were worried about his knee. And then we found out his knee was in a little bit better situation. Then he had the personal issue. We don't got to speak on that. He then comes back. He now has the personal or the injury. Now he's dealing with something else. I just would love a 6-week period of not discussing Joshua Simmons. You ain't worried about it.
I would love that. I think that ship may have sailed in 2026. Now, he plays every game and is Iron Man at left tackle after dealing with this little back injury, but I think any hopes of him becoming even Kingsley Suamataia, rocky first year, goes to work, plug and play second year, may have gone out the window early this season. I'm hopeful it can get back, but I don't think that dream of, he's in the crock pot, we never talk about him, is a thing for Joshua Simmons.
So, yeah, I would have put him a little bit higher. I'd have put Karlaftis a little bit higher on the list. I also think one of the wide receivers have to be on this list. But I do think this is a comprehensive list. I mean, I think at this point, who the Chiefs are relying on, who they need to make big plays. I think you have a pretty good understanding of who that is for this team and who needs to step up. I mean, it's almost here. I mean, we're 2 weeks away from the start of the NFL season. 2 weeks away. So we got a preseason game coming up on Friday. We'll get the cuts. At this point, I think we all can determine who their 53-man roster is going to be. You'll get real close to guessing who their 53-man roster is. It'll be a dead period for a while, and then it'll be go time. We'll be here. Andy Reid will be doing his press conference. Patrick Mahomes will be on the show, and it's time to start breaking down the Denver Broncos and what the Chiefs need to do to win the AFC West. I'm out of here. We'll be back tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Keep it locked.